We are back in Olney. The T-Bolts hit the road once again to take on the Olney Cropdusters. Last time they were here was on June 13th, and they dropped it 6-4. They'll be looking for some revenge today here in Olney, Maryland at First Responder Field. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunderbolts Baseball YouTube channel. I'm Patrick Moran, joined alongside Peter Kelly. We'll hear from Sam Bergstrom at some point in this game. Peter, this is your first time in Olney. The T-Bolts have played 2 games against the Cropdusters. Kind of got blown out in one of them, but they played them really well their second time around. What are you expecting to see from the T-Bolts, who are trying to pick up some momentum?
Yeah, 2 very different games between these 2 teams on the year. Just a couple of days into the T-Bolts season on June 4th, Olney dominated at Blair 25-1. They took it in just 8 innings. Olney really exploded in that big 4th inning where they scored 14 runs. It felt like it would never come to an end, but Silver Spring moved past it. They're clearly playing better baseball now, and a big part of that recent stretch of newfound excellence was that Olney game on June 13th. They didn't pull out the win, but by all accounts, it was one of their best games of the season to date. They out-hit the Cropdusters 11-6, but they only scored 4 runs to show for it. Tonight I'm looking to see if they can get those big hits with the runners on. A lot of guys that were in that game that are also starting again today, and a lot of guys that left runners on base that are going to get chances again tonight against a very similar-looking Cropdusters team that is the best in the North Division. T-Bolts are going to get a prime opportunity here to maybe surprise some people in the Ripken League.
No doubt about it. Let's take you through the Thunderbolts starting lineup in order from top to bottom. Jonah Acosta will lead it off, followed up by Caleb Sturdivant. Welcome back to the lineup for the Millersville Marauder. Gabe Pegues remains in his 3 spot, which is kind of his to lose at this point in the season. Nolan Cutney with cleanup duties here in this one. Griffin Puvel, a late addition to the lineup. Connor Fricke will be right behind him at first base. Puvel in right field, which I forgot to mention. Kai Schmelzer will be doing the catching here today. Colin Gibbs near the bottom of the lineup at shortstop, and Matthew Kim at second base.
It's a good T-Bolts lineup, and a lot of these guys have had a lot of success against Olney this season. In particular, I'm looking at Gabe Pegues. He had, actually, on the year, by my count, Thunderbolts have 3 extra base hits in the 2 games against the Olney Cropdusters combined. Gabe Pegues has all 3. He doubled twice in the June 13th game, which the T-Bolts dropped 6-4, and he had a solo home run. That was the only run in the 25-1 loss early in the season. Pegues is going to get some really tough pitches to hit here. They're going to pitch to him hard, but I'm interested to see how he goes against Marco Lavari and the rest of this Olney starting pitching staff.
No doubt about it. And a name I have circled personally was Colin Gibbs. He had a really good game on June 13th, along with Gabe Pegues. You know, Gibbs picking up 3 hits on the day, playing some really fundamentally sound shortstop in that one as well. When he was in his first few games, or playing in his first few games with the T-Bolts, he is kind of tooled out. He's tool shed a little bit, and I'm excited to see how he follows up his performance against the Cropdusters the last time he was here. The Cropdusters' defensive alignment to kick it off will go from left to right, pardon me. Ben Ford is out in left field. Cade Walter is out in center, and Donis Rodriguez will be manning right. Third to first on the infield, it is Logan Barada at the hot corner. Zakai Hawkins at shortstop. Patrick Gosden, who had 5 RBIs in 1 game against these T-Bolts, and Caden Ahern over at first. The DH in this game will be Ryan Booma. Doing the catching will be Landon Springmeyer. And starting, as you mentioned, Peter, Marco Lavari.
It's an Olney team that plays very good defense. In the 2 games against Silver Spring this year, Olney has committed just 1 error over those 2 matchups, and very good defensive team on the year. Only 9 errors as a team. The only Cropduster with multiple errors is the DH tonight, Ryan Boma. He actually won't even be in the field. So it's a very clean, very technical Olney team, and there's a reason why they're the best team in the North Division.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, they are atop the North Division standings. They are 2-0 on the T-Bolts this season, so a lot of things working in their favor. And with that, we will take a break for the national anthem. We'll bring it back here on the Thunderbolts Baseball YouTube channel after a wonderful rendition of the national anthem played on the trumpet. How unique is that? Cropdusters and the T-Bolts are ready for first pitch here at First Responder Field. And as I mentioned, Marco Lavari will be towing the slab.
Yeah, Lavari coming out of LaSalle University, a team that just recently brought their Division I program back to their campus. And Lavari played a couple of years at Old Dominion, but at LaSalle this year, worked on a 9 ERA and about 10 appearances on the season. He's got a pedigree of Division I experience. Looking at his season stats, he's been able to contribute a little bit for this Cropdusters team. He has a 5 ERA and 2 appearances, both of them starts, and he's got an even 9 innings on the season, surrendering 5 earned runs, striking out 9 against just 3 walks. So Lavari's someone that is going to look to live in the zone. He's going to let the T-Bolts put some balls in play, but he does have solid numbers coming in, and I think it's someone that the T-Bolts have to be wary of, especially with how last night unfolded. DC Grays starter Chris Fortunato going 7 innings in that game. Silver Spring really can't let that happen again. It kind of got them down mentally, and only seeing 2 pitchers in a Ripken League game is very unorthodox.
Right, and the Thunderbolts, they're going to want to work some at-bats against Lavari. You mentioned that the Grays starter went 7 innings last night. You can't have that happen, so Thunderbolts should be able to correct it, and Jonah Acosta will be leading off. He's played in 10 games so far with the T-Bolts. He's hitting a clean .333. He's got 9 RBIs and 8 stolen bases, so he is the epitome of a leadoff man and the epitome of a Ripken League player. Kind of that old-school approach. He has scored 10 runs as well. He has consistently been in that leadoff spot and has done a great job of it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with looking at the All-Star game, but I think Acosta should be there.
Yeah, Jonah's someone that has stuck in the top of the order, especially with how he started off the season, which was really hot, but he has played all around the diamond. He's played second, short, and third, even a little bit of the outfield. So Jonah's someone that is going to make an impact no matter where he is in the order or in the lineup.
The first pitch to Acosta was outside for ball 1, went to the backstop. He will take ball 2. We're officially underway at First Responder Field. Acosta, also a fun storyline with him. In case you didn't know, if you weren't checking the T-Bolt social media, he unfortunately lost a jersey bet with our social media guy, Nick Ronholm. I think we talked about this yesterday, as that is strike 1 to Acosta, and he was repping Silver Spring native Josh Hart after the Knicks took the NBA final title in 5. Kind of a check swing there. He did go around. There was no appeal. Now the count is quickly evened up at 2-2. Leadoff man waits on the pitch. That is a really nice breaking ball offering to Acosta, and he'll take it for strike 3. That is out number 1 with an exclamation point.
Boy, really unusual to see Acosta go down on strikes, especially looking. He comes in having only struck out 4 times on the season, playing in his 10th game. So to start off a game like that, it's maybe a bit of a surprise for a lot of people in that T-Bolts dugout, but no harm, no foul very early. A lot of baseball left to play, and especially when you got this guy coming up with some veteran leadership at the plate.
Well, welcome back, Caleb Sturdivant. Unfortunately, was out of the lineup for a little bit, but his first pitch back, he is hit by a pitch. He's going to get issued first base. And after a quick first out, the T-Bolts might have something going here on Caleb Sturdivant getting hit kind of in the elbow or the back region. We'll see if they can make something out of it.
Boy, it's a tough break back from injury. Caleb Sturdivant collided with a Southern Maryland Senator and had to miss a few games. And as soon as he gets back in the lineup, he wears one off his back. But he's a gritty guy. He'll stay in this game for sure and try to make an impact as a leadoff man on.
Graded pretty rudely, but he shook it off like a champ. Gabe Pegues now fouls one back into the screen for strike 1. And you guys pointed it out last night when the T-Bolts were playing the DC Grays. Sturdivant was a first base coach, so really cool to see him contribute to this team still in any way he can. And now Pegues out of the University of Lynchburg, I should say, as that is taken, and Sturdivant was off on the pitch. He slides into second safely.
Yeah, Sturdivant trying to establish the T-Bolts on the base paths early on. The catcher for Olney, Landon Springmeyer, who's only thrown out one runner on the season. That's now his 8th stolen base allowed.
So Sturdivant quickly getting back into form. Pegues now can maybe move him over or drive him in with a good base hit, as he does take strike 2. Nolan Cutney to follow Pegues in the lineup, so 2 nice hitters coming up in the 3 and 4 spots. Pegues does stay alive, though, with a foul ball. Lavari will give it a look. The D1 man himself, that is grounded out to shortstop. Hawkins picks it up on a hop and fires on the first. A really nice throw from the 6-hole. And Pegues, who was trailing off, trying to beat the throw, will be out for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world because it's hit softly enough that Sturdivant can advance. Zaki Hawkins doesn't really have a play to try and get him at third, especially now with 2 outs. There's no reason to really try and make that play because a sac fly doesn't bring him in.
Right, and now T-Bolts have the first run of the game 90 feet away, potentially. Nolan Cutney has been given the RBI chance. He'll take strike 1. He will take strike 2. That was on the outside part of the plate. Cutney may not have been 100% concurrent with the call. The UMBC retriever has seen action at a lot of different spots. He's been the primary first baseman, or he was at the beginning of the season. Got the start at third last night, and he even saw time in right field. Now he's just DHing. He'll ground it out to the shortstop, Hawkins, again, and he bobbles it. The T-Bolts will pick up the first run, and after Zakai Hawkins made a great play, the ball just kicks out of his glove, and the T-Bolts start the scoring here in Olney.
Yeah, you can't take that for granted. It's a play that would have gotten Marco Lavari out of this inning, but Hawkins just up with it too quickly. He was maybe looking to make the throw before it was in his glove. Second error of the season for Hawkins, only 10th of the year for Olney as a team, and it puts the T-Bolts on the board early.
And like you said, if the T-Bolts should absolutely be taking advantage of those opportunities, as Griffin Puvel will stand in, takes a ball. Unfortunately, well, it's fortunate that he's in the lineup. Happy that he's getting the playing time as he takes ball 2. But unfortunately, on the other side of that coin, Cam Baker was originally slated to start in right field, but was a late scratch. The 2-0. Upstairs, ball 3. T-Bolts aren't going to make it easy on Lavari to get out of this inning.
Puvel, someone with experience against Olney this year. In the June 13th game, Griffin did walk twice, but otherwise he was 0 for 3.
Had the walk-off walk the other day as well, and he'll take a 4-pitch walk right on cue. Now the T-Bolts have runners on first and second with a little 2-out rally.
Something that may be tough to see from our camera is that the stands here at Olney are very full. Like they normally are, Olney does a really good job at drawing these big crowds. But I think it's helping out Silver Spring in that their dugout is getting even more involved. Sometimes you got to bring your own energy when you're at a place that doesn't really draw too many fans. But sometimes when you're at home for Silver Spring, because we get so many good crowds, or on the road at a place like Olney or Bethesda, the energy comes more naturally and it gets the dugout up and ready to go.
For sure. And Olney is most likely in the top half of the league in attendance. People up in the Olney and Rockville area absolutely love this team. This is a really nice field. As Connor Fricky back at first base today He'll check his swing. The appeal down to first. He did not go. Fricke, a late addition to the roster out of Babson College up in Massachusetts. He has been really good, swinging it well at a offensive first position as he takes ball 2.
That's already 20 pitches in the inning for Lavari. Just 5 days ago, he threw 114 pitches in 6 innings of 3-run ball at Gaithersburg. It's good to see the T-Bolts running his pitch count up early.
That'll be a strike on Fricke. Count goes to 2-1, and you know, if the T-Bolts are able to get across more runs here, Peter, you really got to think back to that play Sakai Hawkins could have potentially made to get out of the inning, but instead the T-Bolts had the first crack at the scoreboard.
Yeah, and that run will not be earned for Marco Lavari, but only a team that doesn't commit a lot of errors and just doesn't surrender a lot of runs, period. Their 5.45 ERA is second best in the league.
A 3-1 fouled away over the netting here and at first responder field. Fricke has worked the count to 3-2. And hey, if you're the T-Bolts, you just take the runs. You don't care about the statistics. T-Bolts just want to win some ball games. Fricke will wait on the full count. Runners are going. He is called out on strikes. It seemed like he was taking off the leg guard, ready to head down to first. But instead, he'll head to the dugout. T-Bolts do get one, though, as they quickly lead 1-0. That is a great tone setter here in Olney, Maryland. We'll be back with the rest of the action here on the Thunderbolts YouTube channel.
The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in Tacoma Park and the DMV. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way to tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring is the best chicken in the world because it uses peri peri sauce. From chicken on the bone to wraps and sandwiches, along with salads and veggie options, Nando's is your choice for great food. For one night only, Nando's is donating 40% of their fundraising proceeds to the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. That's Monday, June 29th, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring. You can go in, purchase some great chicken from Nando's Peri Peri, enter the code NANDOS2026, and get 40% of your proceeds donated back to the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Appreciative of Nando's for that fundraiser. Again, that one on June 29th.
Take advantage of that deal, folks. 40% of proceeds go to the T-Bolts, as Peter said. And Peter, the Thunderbolts have gotten off to a great start. You already got one run on the board. They have set the tone, and they're going to look to keep this the way it is, potentially add more pressure on the offensive side.
Yeah, it's going to be big to see what T-Bolt starter Zach Bortner can do with this opportunity. Bortner appearing in his second game of this season, or his third game of the season, but his second game started of this season. And Bortner, a guy that has had experience pitching at a high level in college, now gets a chance to have an impact against the top team in the North Division. Zach Bortner coming in with an ERA of just 2.25. Has thrown 4 innings on the year, giving up just 1 earned run, walking 5, but did strike out 3. That start, of course, came on June 13th against the Olney Cropdusters.
Bottom of the first here at First Responder Field. T-Bolts up 1-0 over the Olney Cropdusters. We have gotten word that Coach Brock Hunter wanted the team to bring the energy today. Hanging on every pitch, and you know that this was kind of spurred by the manager. He wanted his guys to be more active, be more involved, and we could clearly see that on offense. First pitch into Patrick Gosden is a striker, pardon. That was the second pitch. He evens up the count. 1-1.
And energy is going to be big here against Patrick Gosden, who really torched the Cropdusters back in the June 13th game. Had 5 of the 6 RBIs for Olney.
He will take strike 2. And he just, like you mentioned, tore the cover off the ball. The last time these two teams squared off was a one-man wrecking crew. He won the game by himself, pretty much, with 5 out of the 6 runs being on his bat. And he will take strike 3. Zach Bortner off to a great start of his own on the mound. He records out number 1.
Well, not really sure what Patrick Gosden was looking for there. That's a 2-strike fastball that Gosden is just frozen by. They always say about hitters that you cannot sit on a pitch that's not the fastball. You can't really afford to sit slider. You can think about the slider more than the fastball, but you have to be ready to catch up to the heat. And in that instance, Gosden was frozen. A big backwards K for Bortner to start off his day.
Once again, setting the tone, which is what the T-Bolts are doing on both sides of the ball. First pitch to the DH, Ryan Booma, will be a ball of its own. Next pitch is in there for strike 1. Seems like the outside of the plate is open to be called a strike here today. Booma, the infielder out of Frostburg State. Strong D2 program up in kind of the western Maryland area. This league tends to be littered with those types of guys that play at some really good D2s and stuff like that, as Booma gets backed off the plate for a ball.
Booma didn't feature in the June 13th game that only won 6-4, but in the first game between these two, Ryan was one of the ones that had a quiet day. Even though only scored 25 runs, Booma just 1 for 5 and only drove in 1.
That is fouled away, evens up, or runs the count full, 3-2. Bortner out of Frederick Community College made his last start against this Olney Cropdusters team, so should be interesting to see how he can maybe adjust to a team that's pretty familiar with him after he faced him less than a week ago. The 3-2 with 1 out. Missed for ball 4. Looked like a good pitch from Bortner, especially with how the zone is being called today, but I digress. The Cropdusters get their first base runner of the day. Next up is Logan Barada for the Cropdusters. Left on left matchup for him today. First pitch misses for a ball. Barada hitting .240 on the summer so far in 12 games, but he does have a home run and 13 RBIs, along with 6 stolen bases. And has to cock the head back to avoid ball 2. Bortner looks at the runner over on first. His 2-0 on the way. That is hit to the backside, out to left field. Tracking it is the left fielder, Caleb Sturdivant, and it goes off his glove. That'll be a 2-base error for Logan Barada, and the Cropdusters are in business here with 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, tough spot for Caleb to find his first error of the season. 38th error on the year for Silver Spring. That is the worst mark in the Ripken League. That one a playable ball for Caleb Sturdivant, one that he makes 9 times out of 10 and probably close to 99 out of 100, but it was kind of a similar situation to Hawkins back in the top of the first, where maybe they were thinking about the throw in before they actually had the ball in their glove.
I mean, it directly hit the glove of Sturdivant as he was tracking it back, but just popped out. It's about as simple as you can put it. Now Bortner's going to have to work around some traffic. First pitch is fouled off at the plate. Kai Schmelzer popped out of the crouch in a very alert manner, ready to put a tag on the cleanup man, Landon Springmeyer. Really nice day out here, and only the wind, or not even a wind, it's a breeze. Feeling really good up here from our vantage point. The 0-1, infield in. That is in there for a strike. Kind of a late call. Springmeyer couldn't believe it. The 0-2 from Bortner. It is just fouled off. Springmeyer fighting at the plate. Springmeyer, the rising senior from Gilbert, Arizona, going to Northern Kentucky University. He was formerly at South Mountain Community College, but of course, only 2 years in the JUCO ranks. That is the max limit. Anyone can play. Pitch is outside for ball one. Started in 40-plus games, back-to-back seasons, 24 and 25, and that is tipped into the mitt. Kai Schmelzer doing a great job back there in this at-bat, and he secures the strikeout for his left-handed battery mate.
Yeah, that's big for Zach Bortner to rebound after the error from Sturdivant. Still 2 on, still both in scoring position, but now a little bit more favorable with 2 outs. A lot of batted ball outcomes can get Bortner out of the inning and preserve this T-Bolts lead.
So Bortner is not allowed to hit in this inning, but dealing with runners on second and third. His first pitch to Donis Rodriguez. He's downstairs for a ball. Situation stayed the same, except T-Bolts recorded one more out. That goes to the backstop. Schmelzer picks it up, and it is not in time. He made his best effort at it, but it went just a little too far. And just like that, it is a brand new ball game early. Now 1-1 here at First Responder Field.
Yeah, unfortunate to see. I don't know if they'll call that a pass ball or a wild pitch. It is worth noting that the T-Bolts are tied for the league lead in wild pitches at 22 on the season. Run does score, it ties things up. Both runs will be unearned, both the T-Bolts in the top half and now Olney's in the bottom half.
So Olney able to respond to the early run from the T-Bolts. Bortner now with the 2-0. Fires his first strike in of the at-bat. So, Peter, this was something I hit on last game with Donis Rodriguez with Brian. When I was doing my research on him, he actually spent 2 summers in the Dominican Summer League with the Milwaukee Brewers. It was an international signing. And he has a career 49 games in professional baseball, now at D2 Millersville University. Such a cool story for him to be in pro ball and now playing on the summer circuit. And he'll take ball 3 to load up the count. Not too much damage to be done if Bortner walks the hitter. That is a ground ball to shortstop. Well played by Colin Gibbs on the hop. He fires to first, and they get him in time. But the errors come back to haunt the T-Bolts. Cropdusters are able to swipe a run on either a wild pitch or pass ball here at First Responder Field. We'll be back with more coverage as the T-Bolts head into the top of the second.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by the principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grump Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grump Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Well, if Marco Lavari was agonized at all by giving up a run in the top of the first, the Cropdusters got his back. And they picked up a run of their own in the bottom half to respond to the T-Bolts' early scoring. It'll be the bottom third of the order, 7-8-9. Coming up for Silver Spring-Takoma. Kai Schmelzer quickly had to get off the gear in order to lead off this inning. The catcher out of Gulf Coast State. We'll go back to work. It is tied at 1 already. The scoring is underway early. First pitch to Schmelzer is in there for a strike. Next pitch is dumped in there for strike 2. Kind of going to the off speed for Lavari. That'll be popped up over to the first base side and foul. Quickly 0-2 on Schmelzer, but he will pop it up to right center. Should be enough room for the Cropdusters center fielder to come in on it. Cade Walter makes the catch to kick off the top of the second. Now it's Colin Gibbs' turn out of the University of Maryland College Park. Peter, this would have been someone you've seen for about a season or two. I believe he's in the portal.
He was in the portal, actually, Pat. Just yesterday, he committed to play at Delaware next spring. So he's got 2 years of eligibility, played his first couple seasons at Maryland, and now will move to take on a Blue Hens team that he saw very often against them at Maryland, and now will join the Blue Hens ranks. A very good team in a very good conference. They recently joined the Conference USA, has the likes of Louisiana Tech, Dallas Baptist, a couple of very good baseball schools that Gibbs will now have a chance to compete with.
Of course, notable alumni out of Delaware, Joe Flacco. No, he's not a baseball player, but Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Ravens. Gibbs is down 0-2 as he fouls one off. Gibbs, a local product, went to St. John's College High School. And if you want to talk about baseball high schools, St. John's is one of them, probably the best program in my former conference, the WCAC, as a DeMatha graduate. Gibbs flies it out to center field, and Cade Walter once again put to the test. And he passes both times. 2 outs in the top of the second for the Cropdusters.
Second baseman number 2 from Hampton Sydney University, Matthew Kim.
Last hitter up for the T-Bolts, Matthew Kim. Who has bounced around a couple colleges. Started his collegiate career at Gettysburg and then transferred into the top JUCO in Maryland, Frederick Community College, and now is at Hampton-Sydney. He'll take strike one for the first pitch of his at-bat. He'll take the next pitch as it's outside for ball one. So seems like Lavari has not really attacked the inside part of the plate against the T-Bolts. He's either been able to throw strikes or missing on the outside. Next pitch is in the dirt. He's also done that a couple of times. Matthew Kim up ahead in the count, 2-1, no batting gloves. Hardly ever see that anymore as he takes strike two. Kim, a really nice kind of bench piece to have at the worst. He's hitting .350 in limited action in 6 games. 3 RBIs, 5 runs, 2 stolen bags. He's a guy that you can feel comfortable about mixing into the lineup every now and then, and he's also gotten some run at shortstop. He will keep fighting at the plate. That is fouled away. Tipped to the backstop. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a 1-1 game between the Thunderbolts and the Cropdusters as Kim goes down swinging. A really nice 1-2 inning from Marco Lavari on the mound for the Cropdusters, and he'll get the Cropdusters bats back up in the bottom of the second.
Silver Spring Jewelry is the Washington area's only complete jewelry store, with a staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now in 3 locations in Takoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring. Family owned and operated since 1971, specializing in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engraving, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts. Sky Point Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. Sky Point believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making the community a better place. Whether opening your first account or planning for the future, Sky Point has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. Sky Point Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. Visit Sky Point's branch in Silver Spring. More at skypointfcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
So after 7 hitters came up for the T-Bolts in the top of the first, they went 3 up, 3 down. Or 6 hitters, I should say. Kind of got the math wrong there, but was an offensive hot streak for a little bit. And now all hitters have come to the plate for the T-Bolts in this game so far. Most likely we'll continue to see everybody. Sakai Hawkins was where the Cropdusters left off in their order, so he'll lead off the bottom of the second.
Important for Zach Bortner to try to contain the Cropdusters here, turn in a clean inning. You can afford a handful of base runners, but you don't want to let this one get too far out of control. In the June 4th game where the Cropdusters put up 25 runs, this second inning was where they did most of their damage and where they really got things started. They had 3 in the second, 4 in the third, and then a big 14-run fourth. Bortner got to try to keep him in check here.
First pitch from Bortner will be taken for strike 1. So Zakai Hawkins, who is a returning member to this Cropdusters team. Spent 2 years at the University of Utah in the Big 12. Count evens up 1-1. As a freshman for the Utes, he was on the academic All Big 12 rookie team. So he lines one right back up the middle for a base hit. Great start for the Cropdusters. They are looking to create some separation here in this one.
First time the T-Bolts sees a Guy Hawkins in their third meeting this year, and Hawkins turns in the first hit for either team in this contest, despite a couple of runs already on the board. Great start for Olney, but for Bortner, just got to bear back in. He's got a good defense behind him that has been a little bit shaky at times, but has turned in 8 double plays on the season. That's tied for second in the Ripken League. Trying to get a ball on the ground here with a slower Ben Ford up.
So it'll be Caden Ahern. Very interesting name. He takes strike one. I know one of our other broadcasters, Brian Alves, loves to point out the names. I wonder where this would land on his power rankings, or all name teams as he likes to call it. That is another single right back up the middle for a base hit. And just like that, the Cropdusters back-to-back hitters, back-to-back singles, and they will now have 2 runners on here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, we might have to check the exit velo on that one. That base knock from Ahern gets down in center field in a hurry. Falls in front of Gabe Begis. And first and second, still the force in effect. Still can roll a double play with the right combination, but gets a little bit tougher here to avoid the run.
Or you can try and get a force out as well. Get that lead runner on third. Hawkins kind of bouncing around on second. And the first pitch to Ben Ford is in there for strike one. So Ben Ford, Illinois Wesleyan guy, as Hawkins does take off. He's able to steal third safely, but Schmelzer was more focused on Ahern down at first, tried to backpick him. That did not work either, so now runners are at the corners. And Peter, that double play you mentioned would now result in a run.
That was unusual there. I don't think Ahern was going anywhere. I guess Schmelzer was just trying to catch him sleeping, but that double play I think is something that Silver Spring has to take here early in the game and with nobody out in the inning. Hawkins is taking a big lead. Bortner stepping off there. I mean, we saw just last night Joey Chitla of the DC Grays stole home straight on the lazy throwback from Kelleher back to the pitcher.
I was just going to mention that. T-Bolts have already had home stolen against them. Cropdusters aiming to be the second team there. That is a nice strike two and a Ben Ford from Zach Bortner. The 1-2 is on its way. Nobody out. We are tied at 1 here at First Responder Field. Bortner checks the runner at first. Checks him again. Winds and fires. Swung on and missed. Strike three. A huge first out for Zach Bortner if he wants to get out of this inning unscathed.
He'll try to keep the momentum rolling here. Now a double play doesn't even score a run. It gets him out of the inning clean. It's going to be tough here against Cade Walter, who is someone that Silver Spring has seen hit a grand slam off of them and drive in 6 runs in their first meeting this year.
Cade Walter was here last summer with the Cropdusters. She swings and misses at the first pitch in the left-on-left matchup. Played his spring season at Jacksonville University with the Dolphins in the ASUN Conference. Had an 802 OPS in 54 games, so there is clearly a bunch of polish in his game. And like I said, was with the Cropdusters last summer. As that bounces away from Schmelzer. He can't find it. Bortner will have to pass him by. And Zagai Hawkins, who has really been trying to push the envelope, does it there, and he's able to swipe away the Cropdusters' second run of this ballgame.
I think the run that scored in the first inning, maybe on a pass ball, looked like one that Schmelzer could have had in his mitt, but that one probably going to go in the books as a wild pitch. A slider that is bounced, and those can take really tricky bounces away from the catchers. Schmelzer just completely clueless on where it is, and means the Cropdusters have a lead.
He's been working with some tough hops behind the plate on pitches in the dirt. And right there, that one was near the floor of the other batter's box on Cade Walter. Schmelzer able to corral it with his glove. Bortner behind in the count 2-1 with one out. Runner on second. 2-1 the Cropdusters lead. He looks to runner back at second. No one holding him on. Ahern kind of has a lot of liberty out there. And Bortner now falls even further behind Cade Walter, 3-1. Nothing given on the base paths. And that'll be a hit by pitch. Would have been ball four regardless. Cade Walter's going to wear that one as it clipped him.
Yeah, not what Bortner was looking for there. A couple of pitches that missed by some wide margins in that at-bat to the 9-hitter Cade Walter. This Olney lineup's so dangerous that they can harm you 1 through 9. Cade Walter in the 9 spot is not your typical 9-hitter,
right.
A guy that has done some serious damage this year. So it's not even like the quality changes too much as we turn over from the bottom to the top. Always another reason for Bortner to just be wary and trying to get back in the zone.
There are just so many names you have to circle on the plan of attack if you are an opposing pitching staff. First pitch to the leadoff man, Patrick Gosden, outside for ball one. Let's go through that order for the Cropdusters and then read it off in the bottom of the first. But it's Patrick Gosden leading off, Ryan Booma hitting second, Logan Barada third, Landon Springmeyer fourth, Donis Rodriguez fifth, Zakai Hawkins sixth, Caden Ahern seventh, Ben Ford eighth, and Cade Walter ninth. We've pretty much seen everybody go through as sticks are on the board. Defensive alignment for the T-Bolts from left to right. Caleb Sturdivant out there in left in his first start back in the lineup. Center field is Gabe Pegues, and right field is Griffin Bouvel. As that is popped up, it's going to fall in. Colin Gibbs gave it a look at shortstop. Sturdivant was charging in on it as well, but neither of the two called it. So instead it falls in, loading up the bases for the Cropdusters.
In a play like that, that's the outfielder's ball to call all day. I'm wondering if Sturdivant just didn't think he could get there. Gibbs actually did get the closest, I would say, but maybe it's because Gibbs was encroaching so much that Sturdivant felt like he had to slow up. In any event, it falls in front, puts men on all three bases for Olney. They've got a chance to blow this open. They've already hit 2 grand slams against the T-Bolts this year.
This is where the Cropdusters can absolutely eat. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs for Ryan Booma. The 0-1 1 out on its way from Zach Bortner. That'll be low for ball 1. Stakes on the board, 2-1 Cropdusters lead over the T-Bolts. They have bases loaded. Bortner has to walk a tightrope. Is that? He ducked out of the way, thankfully. He is okay. That might have hit him in the head. if he was going to get hit by the pitch.
Well, I tell you what, Zach Bortner is humming these fastballs in. It is early in the game still, so he's still holding that prime velocity. Maybe it declines later on, and his pitch count is starting to get up there a bit. In this one, he's already approaching 50, but that one coming in with some serious heat.
The 2-1. Fouled off back into the netting behind home plate for strike 2.
Looking for a fly ball here. Try to get it in the air. Trust your guys to make a play and trust the ballpark with the wind blowing in to hold it in.
Or try and roll the double play, even though, or the middle infielders are at double play depth. That one goes for ball 3.
Also not a very fast runner at third base. Cade Ahern, 6'4", 220. Not a guy that's really going to burn you at home. Maybe they think they can even get the out at home if not a double play ball, although that's going to be the first thing on the rise.
Maybe bring it to home and then go to first. Bortner kind of building up his innings. He only pitched 6 2/3 for the Frederick Community College Cougars, and they are going to call a pitch clock violation. There is, in fact, a pitch clock in the Ripken League, in case you forgot. And with the full count, Bortner's going to have to pay for ball 4.
Second walk of the game for Bortner. Both of them to Ryan Boma. That's a tough one. Just, you know, don't really think about it too much. You're trying to reset for this crucial 3-2 pitch with 1 out, bases loaded. Really big spot for Bortner, and just in the commotion or in the, you know, in his own head, he forgets that he has to follow that timer. And it's really tough because there's no timer anywhere in the stadium. You can't see it counting down. I think it's, I don't know if umpires have their own stopwatch or if they're just kind of doing it based on feel, but in any event, just a really tough outcome for Zach Bortner. I was excited for that pitch. It was going to be a huge turning point in this game. I guess in theory, for an Olney team that has hit so many grand slams, I guess you avoid that outcome, but you trust Zach Bortner and you trust your defense to make a play there. It's a shame that that opportunity was taken away from him.
No doubt about it. And Peter, quite frankly, if the umpire does not have a stopwatch of any sort tracking the time, that would raise a lot of questions, I'm sure, across the board with kind of the merit of the pitch clock. So now Logan Parada will have that bases loaded chance.
I was going to say, I can't imagine all 3 umpires are keeping a stopwatch every single pitch.
Well, if you're going to have a pitch timer system, I would think you have to track it accurately, but
of course, we are speaking ignorantly. We
Yeah.
don't know for sure if there's a timer or not, but just from what we gather, it's been a couple scenarios where it's been hard to tell. Got to really work around Logan Parada here, too, a guy that has home run power, has homered against the T-Bolts this year, and comes up with the bases loaded still, just 1 out.
another Jacksonville Dolphin at the plate. He got plenty of work with the Dolphins. In 54 games, had a 739 OPS and 30 RBIs on the season. 50 hits to boot as well, as that has popped up. That one's going to stay in play. Jonah Acosta over at third will make the play. And on that note, after Acosta catches a pop-up foul, we'll go around the horn for the T-Bolts defense. Jonah Acosta, as you just heard, at third. Colin Gibbs at short. Matthew Kim is at second. Connor Fricky at first. And Kai Schmelzer doing the dirty work behind the plate for Zach Bortner.
Really good stuff from Bortner to bear back in, not letting that pitch clock violation get to him too much. Gets some weak contact, and now 2 outs, but the base is still loaded. Another dangerous hitter, Landon Springmeyer, comes up with them juiced and actually leads the Ripken League in runs batted in, despite having about 4 less games on his track record than the rest on the leaderboard.
So the T-Bolts able to dodge a home run threat in Logan Barada. Landon Springmeyer will get his second AB. Struck out his first time up. He will pop it up foul.
Now 52 pitches through 1 2/3 for Zach Bortner. T-Bolt's bullpen has been cycling for some time. We can see Matthew Calabrese down there as one of the arms. Bortner went 4 innings in the last matchup between these two teams. I think it would be a struggle to get there with how it's turned out so far, but got to get out of this inning first.
So on and miss strike 2. And as you mentioned, Calabrese warming up. Another Frederick Community College Cougar. Was a freshman this past season at the collegiate level, and he might end up picking up where his teammate left off, both here on the summer circuit and in the NCAA, or I should say the JUCO ranks. That one is in the dirt. Schmelzer smothers it, and now the deuces are wild.
Yeah, guys like Bortner and Calabrese weren't here the first time these two teams met because FCC was playing in the D2 JUCO World Series down in Oklahoma.
It had to have been a pretty cool experience, as it is a top community college program. That looked like a good pitch, and Springmeyer kind of wanted to offer at it, but instead he held back, and a strike was not called.
Wow, that is really close. Too close to take for Landon, but
yeah,
umpire doesn't give him the call. Now runners off on the payoff with 2 outs.
A very confident take, if you will. Got to protect anything around the plate. And Springmeyer might have had that thought at one point, but the runners are off, and he'll swing and miss. Bortner avoids serious damage, but does allow 2 here in the bottom of the second. We'll see if he comes back out for the third. Maybe the T-Bolts want to stretch him out, push the limits on him at 60-plus pitches, but regardless, the T-Bolts now have to work their way back into this game. We'll be back here on the Thunderbolts Baseball YouTube channel, but first, a word from our sponsors.
Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Takoma Park, Maryland, helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home entirely, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Ave in Takoma Park, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era, as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts.
Well, the kids got to run the bases here at First Responder Field. Really cool promotion the Cropdusters are doing, and now we will head to the top of the third. Marco Lovari is all warmed up after the kids. Juices are flowing. And Jonah Acosta will lead off the top of the third. And we got a little special guest for an inning, Sam Bergstrom, who is back from the New York Knicks finals parade after the Knicks won in 5. First pitch to Acosta is down low for ball 1. And I know, Sam, the reason you wanted to be on this broadcast today is because you had some quotes about Acosta.
I certainly did. Jonah Acosta coming into the game past 2 days, batting 3 for 6 with 2 RBIs. And, you know, he had quite a good game against the Gaithersburg Giants a couple days ago in their 3-2 win. And I asked him, you know, what was the good luck charm during that game? And he said the fact that he wore a Josh Hart jersey during batting practice, the Silver Spring native and NBA champ, Josh Hart.
2-0 on Acosta. Swung on and missed at the top for strike 1.
Now, Jonah's actually, you know, he's from Miami. He's a Miami Heat fan, but made a bet with our social media coordinator, Nick, that if the Knicks won the championship, he would wear a Josh Hart jersey during batting practice, and
he did.
Knicks 1-5. The rest is history.
You heard it here first, folks. Acosta taps the 2-1 pitch away for strike 2.
But on a serious note, I did ask Acosta before the game how he's going to continue his hot hitting, and he said, just sticking it to the same plan, having a lot of confidence in myself, and just going out there, having fun, doing my job, and doing what's best possible, putting us in the best possible position to win.
Having fun he is. He's having a great summer so far. Moving around a couple of different spots as he takes a ball. Count loads up 3-2. Seeing him at third, short, and second, as well as a late game replacement in right field. He will take a walk on the payoff pitch. And this is a great opportunity for the T-Bolts to get a few more runs across, as Acosta is the go-to leadoff man, and he has reached first.
No doubt about it. And that walk has got to feel good for Acosta after getting rung up on a pitch that looked a bit upstairs. I do not think he agreed with the call in the first inning, but is able to work a walk there. And Sturdivant's in business.
So, of course, back to the Knicks. You were at the parade.
I was.
And you got to take 2 days off of work. So, great time to be a Knicks fan. Caleb Sturdivant fouls it away 0-1. Lavari tosses the foul ball that ricocheted back into play. Sturdivant had a tough play out there in left field that allowed the Cropdusters to tie up the game in the bottom of the first, and he'll ground it out to second. Hawkins flips to Gosden onto Ahern, and it is a 6-4-3 double play. Really well executed by the Cropdusters in the overall uniforms. And the defense that Peter hinted at pregame is coming through right there, and again, just a really nicely turned double play. So a whole new dynamic to the situation for Gabe Pegues.
Yeah, Sturdivant, of course, is coming back after missing 2 days after the collision against the Southern Maryland Senators, and he wore a pitch back in the first inning. I'm sure he had some PTSD there, perhaps.
Maybe he did have that tough collision as Gabe takes strike 2. So now the situation completely changed on the drop of a hat for the Cropdusters, and Pegues is going to have to start a 2-out rally. Almost dug out behind the plate by Springmeyer, but it kicks away to the man on the on-deck circle, Nolan Cutney.
He's another guy who's coming in with a hot bat, batting 4 for 8 in his last 2 games with an RBI as well as a walk.
He will ground it over to third. It is played on a high hop by the Cropdusters third baseman, Logan Barada, but it is not in time. His throw across the diamond just offbeat, and Gabe Pegues able to beat out an infield single.
Yeah, Pegues showing the base running pedigree there. He had the triple against the Giants the other day. Excuse me, it was against the Grays. That was clearly a base running threat here for this Thunderbolt squad, as there he goes.
He is off on the pitch. He will be out. They will call him off the base. Really tough luck for Pegues as he beat the throw. He was in there, but kind of made a swim move attempt. And in turn, he might have came off the base, according to the umpire that called him out. And he snuffs out any offensive chance the T-Bolts might have had in the top of the second. It is still 3-1 here at First Responder Field. We'll be back in the bottom half of this inning, but Sim will bring you a word from our sponsors.
Koa Sports. Koa Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. Koa Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about KOA Sports at koasports.org. KOA Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Whether you're growing your portfolio or preserving a legacy, Parkview Capital crafts a clear, customized path to your financial future, one that evolves you. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
So Zach Bortner is out there for the bottom of the third. Brock Hunter's got some faith in him, but before we get to that, you know, Sam, going back to your Knicks, this is the main reason you're on here. I would imagine you're pretty amped up. This is your chance to talk about how was the parade and, you know, how good of a time was that?
I'm not going to give you an essay, Patrick, but
yeah.
If I were to describe it briefly, it felt like a lucid dream.
Yeah, 53-year drought for the New York Knicks. I know I would have a good time if my team won anything, but unfortunately I have not gone to any World Series parades for my personal favorite teams. I was at the Nationals World Series parade, and I did have a great time there, but I'm an Orioles fan at heart and would love to see the O's get a World Series ring one day. My dad and I will always say that the parade is coming, but I don't know. We just got to wait and see. We're back with the action here from First Responder Field. Donis Rodriguez will take strike one. The former Milwaukee Brewer prospect, who was an international signing, got a decent sample of games under his belt in the Brewers system in the Dominican Summer League, but ultimately did not work out, and now he's attending Millersville University, D2 program in the PSAC. He will take strike two. And he's able to play on the summer circuit. We're able to watch him out here.
Rodriguez, of course, teammates with both Brady Grimes and Caleb Sturdivant at Millersville.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. T-Bolt himself who is on the Cropdusters staff, also went to Millersville. He got his own bobblehead even. Made such a big impact for the Cropdusters. Jimmy Kirk, that is. Count is even 2-2 on Donis Rodriguez. So another Millersville guy. The Marauders are littered around here. Portner deals just outside ball three, but Schmelzer was set up on that outside part, so maybe a productive miss. Portner pops it up. That is going to go into the glove of Schmelzer. He sticks with it right as it was right up against the net. But the backstop able to track it and secure it for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that thing was hit to the sun. Really high fly ball. Great concentration by Schmelzer behind the plate to not give up on it, and to locate it even through the sunshine here in Olney.
Great concentration from the catcher, Kai Schmelzer out of Gulf Coast State. Portner now will work to Zakai Hawkins.
Patrick, before the game, head coach Brock Hunter thought very highly of Bortner. Of course, made the start here at Olney a couple days ago. And he said, you know, he's just a really good left-handed pitcher. He's got a great changeup that can lock up righties.
I mean, lefties tend to have really good changeups, as the righties normally bring the velo, the lefties bring the craftiness. The 1-1. That is hit out to center field, but hangs up long enough for Gabe Pegues. He will secure the second out of the inning. And Bortner, after throwing quite a few pitches in the bottom of the second, is working fairly quickly here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, I mean, the story obviously is still unwritten. We still have a couple innings to go. The head coach, Brock Hunter, he said Bortner is a guy he can really see going 4 or 5 innings in every outing he has. We're already in the third here. Of course, like you said, threw a lot of pitches in that second inning, but he's making quick work here in the third.
Now with a favorable matchup on Cater and Ahern, who takes a ball in the other batter's box. Ahern did come around to score his last time up. Kind of a bigger guy. You wouldn't assume he has the most speed, but he can do that, hit a baseball a long way, but not long enough as Griffin Puvel makes a nice running catch to his arm side and gets the T-Bolts off the field. Zach Bortner with a much-needed bounce back bottom of the third. He has completed 3 here in Olney. We'll be back on the Thunderbolts YouTube channel with more of the action.
Finn Family Group. Dan Metcalf has long been a supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Now he's at a new location, the Finn Family Group of Perennial Real Estate. Perfect home in the perfect community, the Finn Family Group is for you. The Finn Family Group believes in community, and they bring that sense of community when working with clients to find homes in the Silver Spring-Takoma Park area. Call them today at 301-450-6999. The Finn Family Group, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Athletic House. Athletic House on 18952 Bonanza Way in Gaithersburg is a promotional product distributor making mugs, pens, and t-shirts for advertisers. The Athletic House can supply your company with every possible promotional product from 3,000 suppliers. With so many ad specialties available, Athletic House can help leave a lasting impression with your customers, and they will create long-lasting relationships with your clients. Athletic House, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
The T-Bolts will look to rebound. Here on the top of the fourth, this game moving fairly quickly. Now 7:15. We are through a third of this ball game. 4-5-6 coming up for the T-Bolts. Nolan Cutney to lead it off. The UMBC Retriever out of the American East Conference.
And Cutney, of course, put the ball in play, was able to reach on an error and drive in Sturdivant back in the first.
Cudney, the native out of Montoursville, Pennsylvania, swings on and misses for strike 1. Marco Lavari continues to work into the fourth. He's only given up 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2 for Cutney. Cudney's played in a total of 33 games for the Retrievers. He will swing and miss at strike 3, trying to be aggressive in that at-bat, and it doesn't pay off. He quickly goes down for out number 1. Now Griffin Puvel, another D1 athlete on this team, a Rider Bronco. School that was threatening for the college baseball playoffs, but unfortunately their run came to a close right before everything started as Puvel fouls it off.
And how about the poise that this guy has? Of course, after his walk-off walk against the Gaithersburg Giants, he spoke with you and said, this game is not going to go to extra innings. It's going to end right now, and I want to be the guy that does it.
He wanted the moment, and he did, in fact, get it with a great approach.
And I know this Thunderbolts coaching staff is really looking for a leader like Puvel.
And he's someone that was hurt for, a decent bit last summer as he swings and misses at strike 2. And now it seems like he's just a full go. He is fully healthy, and, well, I think he can play center field. He's more so seen action in the corners. Maybe to preserve him a little bit in a sense. Or maybe it's just the T-Bolts feel like that's the most optimal setup. He takes the ball now 2-2. But of course, Sam, you see a lot more polish out of these D1 guys as it's fouled away. No matter what, if they're playing well or not, you can tell when you're watching a D1 player in this league.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And another big factor is, some of the appearances of these guys. A guy that comes to mind, of course, is Emilio Gonzalez from the Big Train.
Mm-hmm. That pitch was in the dirt, trickled up the first baseline, 3-2 on Puval. T-Bolts down 3-1 against the Olney Cropdusters on the road. Another foul. For Puval, he's keeping the fight alive. That'll be upstairs for ball 4.
And as Yogi Berra would say, it's deja vu all over again. Of course, Puval drew the game-winning walk against Gaithersburg. Works a base on balls here in the third.
Well done there for the Rider Bronco. Hands it off to Connor Fricky, who in that 20-0 win we called, Sam, he got on base all 6 at-bats.
Oh, my God. What a performance it was.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 for 2 with 3 walks. Of course, had the bases clearing double in the second inning.
He will hit it over to shortstop. Hawkins over to Gosden, over to Ahern. Stop. If you've heard this before, I'm sounding like a broken record on the broadcast. The Cropdusters turn their second 6-4-3 double play of the night. T-Bolts trying to rally to the best of their ability, but unfortunately coming up short in a couple of different aspects. They'll go to the bottom of the 4th. We'll see if Bortner goes out there for another inning of work. But Sam will bring you a word from our sponsors right before that.
Radial Tire Company. The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring specializes in balancing, repair, and installation of your car's tires. The Radial Tire Company has experienced technicians with commitment to quality service, advanced equipment for balancing and installation, and comprehensive repair options. The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Chuck Levin's Music. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center on 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton has been serving Washington musicians since 1958. Chuck Levin's is a family run and is famous for instrument sales and its repair facilities for guitars, woodwinds, brass, strings, and electronics. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Oh, Brock Hunter's going to stick with his guy, Zach Bortner, who has run up the pitch count a little bit here in this game. He's going to get extended work. And I can appreciate the confidence from Brock Hunter to stick with him. He's at 68 pitches. I mean, Sam, does this surprise you at all that Brock Hunter has not taken him out?
I think it does, Patrick, because, Bortner, of course, he has the 2 strikeouts on the day, but he has had some mental miscues. Of course, the 2 runs coming off the wild pitches, and also the pitch clock violation with the bases loaded that brought in another run. And Brock Hunter, before the game, he said, we've out-hit a lot of our opponents in 7 of our 10 games, and we've been spot on in just about every category besides walks, hit by pitches, and the wild pitches. And, of course, Bortner has made some of those mistakes today, but nonetheless, I love the confidence in Brock Hunter to leave him in.
I think they're really hoping for him to get through 4. Swung on and missed by Ben Ford here to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Ben Ford out of Illinois Wesleyan. will take ball one, evening up the count.
And Coach Hunter also said, you know, I asked him before the game, of course, this is a team that's full of power. They lead the league in home runs. I asked, are you going to approach these guys in any particular way? And he gave me the same old response, you know, good or reliable. It's we need to throw strikes and make plays.
So Ben Ford did not seem to like that strike two call from the home plate umpire. And as a matter of fact, Ben Ford had a two-hit game against these Thunderbolts on June 4th. Had 2 RBIs in that game as well. Probably his best game of the season as the count is even 2-2. Pitch on its way is in there for strike 3. Ben Ford, maybe not the most enthusiastic about that at-bat and how it went, but hey, can't tap the hat. And Zach Bortner getting the 4th inning started off on the right foot.
Yeah, Bortner brought a wide variety of pitches there. Started off with the breaking ball, but was ultimately able to ring him up with the heater.
Cade Walter, the last man to have 2 at-bats in this game as he hits it out to right center. Pegues made a great diving attempt at it, but came up just a little bit short. Luckily, Griffin Puval was able to back him up, get the throw in quickly, and Cade Walter, the Jacksonville University Dolphin, is now on first base.
If you remember on June 4th when the Cropdusters defeated the Thunderbolts 25-1 at Blair Stadium, Gabe Pegues, and one of the few highlights of that game, made a highlight catch in center field, diving to his right. This time he goes diving to his left and ultimately can't come up with it.
Would have been a spectacular play if he had made it. Instead, Bortner has to deal with the runner on first. First hitter up for the the leadoff man for the Cropdusters, Patrick Gosden in the lineup, who killed the T-Bolts the last time these two teams faced off. Getting his 3rd at-bat today. He's 1 for 2. He will foul that one away. Gosden played in all 60 games in his past college season. So kind of a baseball rat mentality out of the infielder. Coming from Westchester University, another PSAC school. Seen quite a few of those in this league. He fouls it away. Count remains 0-2. Millersville is right there. Westchester, Clarion, Sam Camacho Jr. on the T-Bolts goes there, and even East Stroudsburg, where Josh Erd goes out of the bullpen. Matthew Calabrese has been getting hot for a couple of innings, but they have not needed him. Runner goes. It is a really perfect hit and run, as a matter of fact. Patrick Gosden goes right where Matthew Kim would have been to field it at second, but instead, because of that runner going to second, they had to worry about covering him. And just like that, the Cropdusters have runners on first and third.
Yeah, you mentioned Gosden's reliability, almost like an Iron Man for this team, and Iron Man comes up with a heroic play there, Patrick. I mean, beautiful execution of the hit and run. Sees his teammate take off and able to hit an Oppo Taco single through the 4-3 hole.
So the Cropdusters still lead 3-1. They right on the doorstep of adding a couple of more runs here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch to Ryan Booma is fouled away.
And, you know, when they were announcing these lineups, Patrick, of course, Booma coming from Frostburg State, both Brandon Brown and I believe it was Brandon Brown and one of his teammates actually came out and booed Ryan Booma. Gotta love that showmanship.
Oh, yeah. They may be Bobcats together, but this summer they are enemies in the North Division.
Mason Kelleher, that's who it was.
I was going to say, Kelleher, the other T-Bolts primary catcher, goes to Frostburg State. Again, really good D2 program. And on the Cropduster side, I know Mac Chrismond transferred in to Frostburg State this past spring. Felt like I kept seeing them on the heat sheets for the D2 ranks. Just they were on a winning streak or they were playing well or whatever it was. Frostburg State was making noise. That is popped up. That will be a sac fly most likely. It's got some carry on it. That is caught.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. The run does score. Cade Walter tags up. But my, oh, my. Caleb Sturdivant might have robbed a home run. And now, because of such a fantastic play, these umpires got to converse about whether that runner tagged up.
What a catch by Caleb Sturdivant.
And they're going to call a double play.
Unbelievable.
A huge glove show from Caleb Sturdivant.
And Patrick, you remember in the first inning, or perhaps it was the second inning, Sturdivant had an easy catch in left field, just dropped it, tracking back, and eventually the first run came in to score for Olney, but boy, did he make up for it with that play.
The umpires are still conversing about this. There seems to be some confusion. Cropdusters head coach Adam Leader demanding an explanation. That may not have been Caleb Sturdivant, actually. That looked like Joey King coming in from left field. I know it says Sturdivant on the website. I think it was Sturdivant. But, my goodness. I mean, whether or not this run scores, Sam, that was maybe the catch of the season.
I mean, yeah, Trent Lopez made a pretty heroic catch in the season opener against Bethesda at Shirley Povich Field, of course. But, I mean, with the game in this situation, runners on the corners, of course, against the team that the Thunderbolts have really struggled against this season, that's a play that could really change the momentum in this match.
You're absolutely right, Sam. T-Bolts are ready for a double play to be called. Umpires are still talking it over. And they're going to give the explanation to these two coaches, Adam Leader and Brock Hunter. We will provide the update as soon as we can. We can't quite tell what is being said.
And if you're the Cropdusters, I mean,
You gotta be pissed.
Not much you could do about that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
That's true.
I mean, of course, the first baseman, Booma, the guy on first base, Booma,
Oh.
you know, he sees a ball. As head coach Brock Hunter looks fired up.
Looks like the umps might have called back the Cropdusters.
And he's out, Patrick.
And he just got ejected. So the Cropdusters get the mulligan. T-Bolts are not happy with the call. The catch was made, which I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. I mean, that was simply brought back by Caleb Sturdivant. But now the T-Bolts are going to have to retake the field.
Are they not calling it a catch, or are they not calling it a double play? That's the
I
question.
think they're not calling it a double play because the catch was undeniable. I think the question is, did that runner tag from third? It seems to be the topic of discussion.
You rarely see Brock Hunter lose his composure like that in the dugout. He's normally calm, cool, and collected as a T-Bolt skipper, but
There are three different T-Bolts getting an explanation. Max Eckert, who he might also be ejected as well. Jonah Acosta having a word with the umpires. Colin Gibbs starting to chat it up as well. Brock Hunter's been ejected.
Wow.
Max Eckert might be as well. The guys are fired up in the dugout.
If that's the case, then
I mean,
Ryan Mariani's the only one left, right?
him and Dean Wandell, the two pitching coaches, they're going to have to weather the storm. But my, oh my. There's still, I mean, the umpires haven't even gotten back to their spots.
And Patrick, I do believe that is Joey King out in left field.
Yeah.
Seems like they made a defensive substitution earlier in this match. So apologies for the misinformation given by us. We were just so caught up in that play, we couldn't even register who was out there.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, because it didn't look like Caleb Sturdivant jogging in, but I know Sturdivant started this game. That was Joey King. I mean, just an unbelievable catch. And now Logan Barada will stand in after all the commotion here at First Responder Field. Max Eckert will stay in the game, thankfully. He did not get ejected. He will most definitely take over the managing duties for the rest of this game. Kai Schmelzer puts a glove on it. Count goes to 1-1.
And that's not a bad guy whatsoever to have as your backup if you're the Bolts. Max Eckert, just a stand-up guy. Really one of the leaders of this coaching staff as well.
Mm-hmm. I think the T-Bolts have really two headstrong coaches in Brock Hunter and Max Eckert. They know how to care. They know how to fight for their guys. That is fouled away by Logan Barada. But, I mean, Brock Hunter, at least in my time with the T-Bolts, has been ejected a couple of times. When he gets passionate, he is willing to fight and die, basically, for his team. And that is strike three. The T-Bolts are fired up as Zach Bortner gets off the field after a lot of, discretion out there. And the T-Bolts may not have had a call go their way, but regardless, these guys, they look like they're going to be ready to swing some bats here in the top of the fifth. We'll be back as the Cropdusters do pick up one. It is 4-1 here at First Responder Field.
Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring serves up Chop House classics, fresh seafood, Chesapeake Bay oysters, a raw bar, and hyper-seasonal local produce. It has one of the best bars in downtown Silver Spring, serving craft cocktails, beer, and wine. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Fetch Pet Care. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is your premier in-home pet care service. From dog walks, cat care, overnight stays, pet sitting, and medication administration, Fetch Pet Care provides services tailored to meet your pet's individual needs. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Was it Joey King? What? Is it Joey King?
So Joey King robbed it.
Yeah.
And then, the guy clearly, he tacked him. But I think Brock just wanted to get him going. So if that's something you want to say, absolutely.
Joined back here. Joined back here at First Responder Field after a wild bottom of the fourth. Brock Hunter got ejected. And our social media guy, Nick, who caught the action down on the field, said that Brock Hunter just wanted to get this bench fired up. Peter Kelly is back with us as Kai Schmelzer grounds it out to second base. Patrick Gosden makes a nice play. And, Peter, after all the commotion, you got to just get a better view of it a more direct view on the T-Bolt side, just what did you make of all of it?
Wow, things have really changed since I was last up here.
Yep.
First of all, heck of a play by Joey King. Probably the best catch we'll see this year by a Thunderbolt or otherwise. It seemed like he left on time. From where I was, well, their base hit right here for Colin Gibbs.
Colin Gibbs goes back up the middle with a nice piece of hitting and a single. He must like playing here, Peter. I mean, 3 hits in his last game. Picks up another single now. And, yeah, I mean, the dynamics have truly shifted.
Yeah, I mean, you probably guys talked about that play a lot more than I know, but I think he did definitely tag up. He was held. Both runners were held like they weren't sure the ball was going out.
Matthew Kim now feeding off of Colin Gibbs. A single, gets one of his own. And now the T-Bolts have runners on first and second. The guys are fired up.
But what's all these first pitch swings? I wanna tell my story. No, I'm just kidding. Couple of back-to-back hits. They're starting to get to Lavari a bit, I think. He's still yet to allow an earned run, but he's had a couple of quick innings back-to-back, and a couple thanks to some double plays and caught stealings. But you could tell immediately when play resumed after Hunter's ejection, it was just so much fire back in that dugout. And after that huge K from Bortner, coaches spilled out. Skip Becker was the first one out there, and then all the players just kept saying brand new ball game. So I'm really excited to see how this one turns out.
Swung on and missed at the plate by Jonah Acosta's lineup turns over. But, I mean, yeah, Brock Hunter is the type of coach to be there for his team. He has his players' backs, and he really had it right there. He was willing to get ejected in the bottom of the 4th, but, I mean, lost in the scuffle of that play. So that is in the dirt. The runners almost got aggressive and went, but a nice block by Springmeyer said not today. But going back to that play, I don't want to lose this in all the scuffle. It expanded into a bigger conversation. I mean, Joey King, I think he robbed a home run. That was an incredible grab.
That ball was over the fence. I thought it was gone.
I know. That ball just was ready to go out. Acosta is safe. They take it. He takes advantage of an error made by Patrick Gosden. Just didn't pick the ball up cleanly, and now the bases are loaded. The T-Bolts are absolutely loving it.
As mentioned a couple times already, coming into this game, Olney has made far and away the fewest errors in the league. But that one already, they're second, and they've both come in the infield. First one was from Zakai Hawkins over at short, and then that one being committed by Patrick Gosden at second. Things shifting in the way of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And it's weird how it happened. The ejection needed to happen, but that home run robbery, I think, was maybe the match to start the fire here. Of course, the fire still needs to fully light with the Thunderbolts still chasing 3, but it's certainly in their favor at the moment.
No doubt about it. I mean, you can even just see it on Acosta being able to beat it out, kind of put pressure on the defense, and you've pointed it out all game. This Cropdusters defense might be the best in the Ripken League, and now, you know, they've made a few errors, and the T-Bolts are putting their backs against the wall. But, I mean, I didn't even realize it was Joey King. I called it for Caleb Sturdivant.
Yeah, I could tell from when I was away.
Yeah.
After Sturdivant hit into that double play, he came back to the dugout laboring. And I think the hit by pitch to start off his day off the shoulder didn't really help, considering he was out of the lineup for a few days, battling some injuries. So he does have to exit. He did go out initially to left field in that inning, but he was replaced quickly after by Joey King. And how about that? I mean, I always think that it's classic baseball. The ball will find you if you sub in the middle of a game. And it found Joey King, and Joey King found it into his glove for one of the best plays we'll see this year in the Ripken League.
Yeah, I saw him jogging back from left field as if the inning was about to be over. And, you know, I looked at the player and I said, hey, that doesn't really look like Caleb Sturdivant. And it is, in fact, not. Unfortunately, Sturdivant not able to remain in this game. But Joey King takes over and makes possibly the play of the summer.
Yeah, and it also means Joey King will hit here instead of Caleb Sturdivant. Just a different look for Marco Lavari. while the T-Bolts wait for him to come out of the game as a pitcher, they will get a different matchup against him. And it's the righty Joey King going to come up. King has really not seen too much action against the Olney Cropdusters this year. Did go 0 for 3 in the June 4th game with a strikeout.
He's got a 258 average on the spring. I really like the way he hits. Just probably one of the most sound approaches on the T-Bolts. Able to just go with the pitch and pick up the base hits whenever he needs to. And he takes strike one. Swung on and fouled away. I think this game might get a little heated. Knowing the history of these two teams, they played last year in a kind of playoff game. It was a really weird format where all the teams had a chance, but the Cropdusters hosted the T-Bolts, and yeah, the Cropdusters like to chat it up, and the T-Bolts do engage in it. But the T-Bolts are certainly trying to bring some energy here. It's a 1-2 count on Joey King.
I really like this opportunity for King here. He's coming off a multi-hit night last night at DC, and including had an extra base hit in that game.
Swung on and missed, strike three. Goes down swinging on a pitch that was a little bit low. That'll be out number 2.
That's the 5th strikeout now for Marco Lavari. I was trying to will it into existence for Joey King, trying to build off of that big home run robbery, but instead the breaker dives below his bat head. But you've got Gabriel Pegues coming up, who has been infernal over the last couple of games and did leg out an infield single in the 3rd. So he's coming off of being on base.
I was going to say that if Joey King got a hit there, and the ball skips away, no one is covering, and he is safe. Colin Gibbs got a great read, and he picks up the 2nd run on the evening for the T-Bolts. It was blocked by Springmeyer. It did not go to the backstop, but he just did not see it ricochet off of his chest. And now the T-Bolts have runners on 1st and 3rd, now within 2 of the Cropdusters' lead.
And tying run at first base is Jonah Acosta, and we know how well he can run.
Oh, yeah. Be a great time for Pegues to drive one of the gap as he did his last time in Olney. His count is 1-1 on the T-Bolt center fielder today. Hey, I mean, this is kind of nostalgic for me now that I think about it. Center fielder wearing number 10. Reminds me of Adam Jones, one of my favorite baseball player of all time. Pegues takes strike 2.
It's not crazy to say he plays a little bit like him, too.
Yeah?
He's got really good speed. He can hit anywhere in the order, and he's got a great glove.
That's a great point. Can play all 3 outfield spots. The 1-2 is blocked by Springmeyer. He's been put to work back there, just corralling any pitch possible. And on that pitch, Jonah Acosta got a good read. He was so dialed on taking that extra 90. He's going to go down to second base. 2-2. Swung on and missed. The rally ends for the T-Bolts, but I think they're going to be keeping this up the rest of the ball game. It is now 4-2 in favor of the Cropdusters. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, and Peter Kelly will bring you home with the play-by-play.
Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring serves up Chop House classics, fresh seafood, Chesapeake Bay oysters, a raw bar, and hyper-seasonal local produce. And has one of the best bars in downtown Silver Spring, serving craft cocktails, beer, and wine. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring is your premier in-home pet care service. From dog walks, cat care, overnight stays, pet sitting, and medication administration, Fetch Pet Care provides services tailored to meet your pet's individual needs. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Well, Pat, about halfway home here at Olney. 4-2, the Cropdusters, the home team, are playing off of this evening crowd energy on the Friday night, and they've jumped down to this 2-run lead over the Thunderbolts. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say the Thunderbolts have the momentum, though. Despite only scoring 1 in the top of that fifth inning, it feels like it was a really solid inning where they were jumping on the first pitch a lot from Lavari, and now they go to their bullpen for the first time for Matthew Calabrese, who has had a really, really nice start to a season, and the guy that you know well as a guy that can hit the zone and present a tough angle from the right side.
No doubt about it, Peter. I mean, Matthew Calabrese was someone I got to enjoy for 3 years at Math Catholic High School, pitching for the Stags on the varsity squad. And, you know, yeah, that arm angle is so unique. Kind of a sidewinder in a way, kind of going out of style. But, you know, pitchers who can execute it and perfect the art of it, they're going to be effective just because they're possibly one of ones or one of twos and wherever they're pitching. So
Calabrese takes over for Zach Bortner. Bortner's day will end after 4 innings. We'll get you his final line in just a second. But heading to the bottom of the 5th inning, alongside Patrick Moran, I'm Peter Kelly. So grateful for everyone joining us on the live stream tonight. We have secured a bit of a camera angle that is hopefully a little bit more advantageous for the rest of this game. There are some shenanigans happening on the third base side between Coach Max Eckert, who has taken over as the head coach with Brock Hunter having to exit this game early. He's talking things over with the home plate umpire.
Yep.
There is just a wacky scenario and a wacky evening. It is Howard County Youth Baseball Night, I believe, here at the Cropdusters Park. What that means is that there are a lot of children, a lot of youth baseball players, and I think a lot of children that have gotten very fired up playing off of the energy in the game. And obviously seeing the other team's coach ejected, that's going to kind of bring you even further into this game and make the crowd even more intimidating.
I don't want to speculate, but the Cropdusters have a tradition where they do Cotton Eye Joe in between the 5th inning, and maybe the Thunderbolts didn't like it that the umpire was in on it. But, of course, you know, Max Eckert was getting a long word.
In any event, that instance is over. It's 4-5-6 due up for Olney, starting off with their catcher, Landon Springmeyer. New Armand Matthew Calabrese. Last time he went out, he was really good against Alexandria on June 15th. Went 3 1/3 of scoreless ball, gave up just 2 hits, and struck out 3. Has given up 4 earned runs this season in his 5.2 innings of work. He's got a 1.12 advantage against Springmeyer, who has a couple of strikeouts on the day against Zach Bortner, but has been a feared opponent this year in the Ripken League. Had a really nice night last night in Olney's win. Count evens up at 2-2. The final line for Zach Bortner quickly. The T-Bolt starter goes 4 innings, just like the last time against Olney. Gives up 5 hits, 4 runs. Only 3 of them are earned. Walks 2 and strikes out 6. Not a bad day at all for the FCC man. And he yields to another man out of Frederick Community College. And it's Calabrese, who's got a full count against the leadoff man in the 5th, Landon Springmeyer.
I'm sure Frederick Community College is loving this night. 2 Cougars in a row.
3-2. Springmeyer just got a piece, and the count stays where it is. Springmeyer working this at-bat here. As mentioned, Landon Springmeyer has had some pretty good performances as of late. In the game last night against the SoCo Braves that only won 16-4, Springmeyer did homer. He was just 1 for 5, but did have a multiple-run home run in that game, and he works a 7-pitch walk here against Calabrese to start off the 5th with a base runner for Olney.
So just to confirm what was going on in between innings with the Cotton Eye Joe, my theory was correct. The home plate umpire was dancing to Cotton Eye Joe, and the Thunderbolts, quite frankly, didn't like it. So they were putting in their 2 cents on that whole situation. The rest of our media team getting coverage on that down near the field.
First pitch is a bunt drop down by Donis Rodriguez. Calabrese fields it to first. He got him there. And the T-Bolts recovered defensively enough to hold Landon Springmeyer at second base. Olney goes immediately to the sack bunt to push a runner in scoring position, trying to extend this lead even further. It does mean that Donis Rodriguez surrenders himself. He's now 0 for 3 on the day.
Well, Peter, I can't tell you how many times I saw Matthew Calabrese work on that in high school. I mean, our coach, Steve Miller, not that I was on the team, but managed the team for a little bit, and Steve Miller just rammed those through, the PFPs, and Calabrese just fired a dart over to Fricky.
This is Zakai Hawkins, the 6th hitting shortstop for the Olney Cropdusters. He's 1 for 2. He singled back in the second. 1-0 count, runner aboard. Calabrese a long hold, gives him a look, now deals. Misses inside. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. Runner aboard. That's Landon Springmeyer, as far as we can tell. And maybe a courtesy runner is exercised, but tough to tell from our vantage point. Runner on second anyway for the home Olney Cropdusters. 2-0 is a strike right down the middle.
The numbers are even more difficult to see, Peter, because of these jerseys. I mean, the numbers just blend in with the overall look. I love the Cropdusters' sense of tradition, but I will say as broadcasters can be a little bit inconvenient.
2-1 upcoming. Kim is flashing in from second base. Calabrese turns and he got him hung up. Fires the throw, but it gets into center. Fortunately, Springmeyer doesn't go anywhere. Actually, we now see him turn around, and that courtesy runner is Sammy Berman. So Sammy Berman is the one that doesn't move. Recovering nicely from Gabe Pegues out in center field. So basically nothing happened on that play, although it was an exciting one. Yeah, Pat, about the uniforms real quick. Obviously a cool agricultural tradition out here in Olney and in rural Montgomery County. Cool concept for the uniforms. I think they're objectively ugly. I'm not a fan. I guess you can't say if something's objectively ugly, but they did a really great job at executing the overall and flannel so much that it doesn't even resemble a baseball jersey anymore.
Yeah. I think that really stands out about it. Just the seamless transition from the overall look on the top of the jersey to the pants.
3-1 count here. Causes a quick mound visit from Kai Schmelzer.
And again, just that sense of tradition for the Cropdusters. It's what makes a community great, is that just the familiarity of things, and they're willing to stand out and do the Cotton Eye Joe between innings, and that's a staple. They've made it their own.
3-1 is tapped slowly right back to Calabrese. He bobbles it momentarily and has to go to first. Gets Sammy Berman over to third, and with 2 outs, Calabrese will work against Cade Ahern, who has been on base a time tonight with a single in the second. I think Matt was initially trying to look at third base and see if he could nail Berman down there, but when he came out of his hands for a moment, he just realized he made the smart play and was able to go to first, where Hawkins was nowhere close, really.
Right, and now you can just focus on getting the hitter at the plate instead. Don't overthink things, just attack the hitter. Go in the zone, trust your defense behind you to make a play, and everything's going to be okay. I mean, there is no elaborate situation here. Just get one out, get off the field.
1-0 is swung on and missed. Count evens at 1-1 against the Lehigh Mountain Hawk, Cade Ahern, playing first tonight, and he's 1 for 2 out of the 7th spot.
Big dude. I mean, he has got some size to him, and
1-1 is lifted in the air out towards left, fairly deep. Joey King towards the line, running after it, but it gets out of play. Could have had another unbelievable grab from Joey King, but just a bit out of his reach. It's a long strike against Calabrese. He's trying his best to hold Sammy Berman at third base after the leadoff walk to the catcher, Springmeyer. Berman coming in as the courtesy runner. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Olney with a 4-2 lead over Silver Spring. The top team in the North, the Cropdusters, looking for their 10th win. They'd be the first team in the Ripken League to hit that milestone, whereas the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts have a ways to go in the North Division. They are 4th out of 4 teams at 3-9, but are looking for their 2nd road win of the year.
That was some incredible range from Joey King.
Close pitch there from Calabrese that the home plate umpire doesn't give him, and all that does is stoke the fire even more in the growing tensions between the T-Bolts dugout and this umpiring crew. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Righty-lefty matchup. Berman at third base represents the 5th run for Olney. Calabrese comes home on a 2-2. Check swing, they'll appeal. He didn't go around. Count goes full.
I also don't think there's the best relationship between just the two teams themselves. I mean, they've kind of gone to war together, and the playoff game last year, it was chippy. So the T-Bolts are frustrated with the umpiring crew, as you mentioned, but I also don't think they care for the Cropdusters too much.
Called strike 3. Well, that'll make the T-Bolts care for the umpires a little bit more. A high pitch stolen by Kai Schmelzer. Calabrese's first strikeout gets him out of the inning. Strands the leadoff walk and keeps the lead at 2 for Olney. Heading to the 6th inning here at First Responder Field after a word from these sponsors.
Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring serves up Chop House classics, fresh seafood, Chesapeake Bay, oysters, a raw bar, and hyper-seasonal local produce. It has one of the best bars in downtown Silver Spring, serving craft cocktails, beer, and wine. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is your premier in-home pet care service. From dog walks, cat care, overnight stays, pet sitting, and medication administration, Fetch Pet Care provides services tailored to meet your pet's individual needs. Fetch Pet Care at 10111 Colesville Road, number 115 in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Here in the 6th now at First Responder Field. New pitcher in the game for the Olney Cropdusters. This is going to be Hudson Harrison. Takes over for Marco Lavari. Harrison out of Scottsdale Community College for an Olney team that really recruits from all over. We see guys from the West, the Midwest, guys from Illinois Wesleyan in the starting lineup tonight, Ben Ford, and now Hudson Harrison from Scottsdale Community College. Appeared in 16 games this year through 21 innings and had an 8.57 ERA. He takes over here after 5 strong innings from Marco Lavari. His final line, 5 innings, just 2 hits allowed, 2 runs, neither of them earned, walking 3 and striking out 6. Lavari out, Newarm in, Hudson Harrison. Patrick, a really good inning from Calabrese, good impression of the Thunderbolts bullpen as they turn to it for the first time in this game. What are you looking to see from them here as they try to attack the Olney bullpen?
I think just the T-Bolts have to stay aggressive. I mean, they clearly are fired up about this game, and I think they need to channel that energy in the right way. I mean, they got 4, 5, and 6 coming up. These are some heavy hitters, so, I mean, the T-Bolts just, as long as they can direct their energy onto the field and start seeing red a little bit, which literally they already are on the Cropdusters jerseys, but just to put that aggression to good use.
4-5-6 for Silver Spring. First pitch is a called strike to the DH Nolan Kutney. Kutney tonight struck out in the 4th and reached on an error in the 1st. Harrison's 0-1, misses outside, and it's a 1-1 count against Nolan Kutney. Harrison has appeared in 2 games this year for the Olney Cropdusters, making his 3rd appearance. Misses outside with the ball. Last time out for Harrison in that doubleheader against Gaithersburg on June 14th. Hudson goes 2 innings, gives up 3 earned runs. Similar numbers in his first outing against the South County Braves as Kutney tips it in the mid. All that is to say that Harrison doesn't have the best numbers, a 12.46 ERA, which is well above the Olney average coming in of about a 5.4 team ERA. Maybe it's someone that the T-Bolts can get to here in the 6th, still down 2. 2-2 has grounded Selfie to short. Hawkins under it, scoops it up over to first in time. 6-3 ground out for Harrison's first out. 1 gone here in the 6th.
Hawkins has been put to work over at shortstop and just that time able to play the slow roller, coming in on it enough and firing across the diamond to put away Kutney. There's the fundamentally sound Cropdusters defense we are accustomed to.
Here's Griffin Puvel. Right fielder hitting fifth tonight. Takes a strike from Hudson Harrison. One away in the sixth, 4-2 Olney. A great atmosphere here at First Responder Field. We were talking last night about their Cotton Eye Joe tradition. I think it's fair to say the Olney Cropdusters are the closest thing in the Ripken League to the Savannah Bananas, which is the kind of cult following team that has taken the baseball world by storm. A lot of supporters and a lot of people that wish they would stay away from the sport. 0-2 is outside, 1-2. I'm not one of those people that wishes they would stay away completely. I think they bring a lot to the table. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun for families to go out and watch them. And if it brings baseball to the masses, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Grounder up the middle. Hawkins a challenge again, and it's off his glove. Second error tonight for Zakai Hawkins, and Puvel's aboard as a one-out base runner.
I mean, I think the Savannah Bananas, they do a lot of great things for the game of baseball. Not my personal taste, but I respect what they do, and I totally agree with you. Just bringing so many different eyes to the game of baseball, I'm all for that. Just promoting the game in general, and little kids can latch onto it, and they can see these guys having fun, I think is really cool at the end of the day, and it's just going to draw an even bigger audience to the game of baseball.
First pitch to Connor Fricke's a strike. The first baseman batting sixth on the evening. He is 0 for 2. Backwards K in the first and a 6-4-3 double play in the fourth. Runner on first is Puvel. 0-1 pitch is outside for ball one. There has to be a middle ground somewhere between the circus-like Savannah Bananas and the kind of dead serious major league teams. Well, not all major league teams, but there is a dead serious variant of baseball that I think a lot of people like. Just the natural sounds of the game and you know, pitches down the middle and bat on ball. I think Olney has a nice middle ground. It's been fun to see them do what they do with the between innings things, and as long as they keep the baseball serious, I think that they're going to keep doing that. And they lead the North Division in this season, so whatever they're doing over there, it's working. Counts 2-2 against Connor Fricke. Absolutely.
All great points, and they're no doubts playing serious baseball. They're one of the best teams in the Ripken Leagues, sitting atop the division.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first. Schmelzer on deck. Here's the pitch. Grounded left side and down the line. Puvel's going to take a turnaround second. He's being waved to third. Fricke on his way to second base. The throw will be slow and late. Connor Fricke with a double to put runners at second and third. And once again, the T-Bolts tying run 2 bases away.
Excellent swing there from Connor Fricke. Hitting it down the line past the glove of Logan Barada. Was out of his reach, and you know, it didn't fully get to the wall. Kind of died in front of the T-Bolts bullpen. But Puvel able to get down to third. The throw was coming in a little slow, as you mentioned, and it skipped off the lip of the grass. So, I mean, wasn't even picked up cleanly. And now that the T-Bolts are in a spot where a single makes this a whole new ballgame.
Big spot for Kai Schmelzer, the true freshman. Hasn't gotten a taste of college baseball just yet. Takes a pitch high and in. Schmelzer still adapting, including tonight's stats where he is 0 for 2. On the year, he's 1 for 15. But there's always a first time to get that turnaround. Pops it up, running over the first baseman, Cade Ahern, at the fence, looks up, and it goes over the net foul.
I think he's just done a really good job of holding his own. And, you know, for one of the youngest guys in the Ripken League, incoming freshman, and he's getting out ahead of the curve. I've been impressed with the work he's been doing behind the plate with a variety of different arms. Him and Mason Keller have really stepped up in the catching duties.
1-1. Schmelzer fouls it again. 2 strike out against the true freshman catcher. Kai has been tested a fair amount tonight on the base paths. And at the plate, he is 0 for 2. Flew out to center in the second and grounded out to second base in the fifth. Harrison works quickly. The 1-2 pitch is popped up. His counterpart, Landon Springmeyer, to the backstop and watches it bounce into the crowd. That one got about as close to the foul net as possible, but it lands on our side of it in the grandstand. So it's a strike again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count stays where it is.
fans always got to watch out whenever that happens. And another note on Schmelzer puts into perspective that I'm basically the same age as him. If he's going to be a true freshman next spring, and the fact that he's competing in a wooden bat league over the summer, and I'm just sitting here talking into a mic.
Slow roller to short. Hawkins again for the third time this inning, and this time it's picture perfect for the second out. Schmelzer does get an RBI there as Griffin Puvel comes home and scores from third, making it a one-run ball game. And with Colin Gibbs coming up, a man who singled his last trip up and has a lot of pedigree at the D1 level, chance here for the T-Bolts to tie things up with the tying run just 90 feet out.
All it takes is a base hit. He used the big part of the field his last time up. See if he can do it again.
First pitch to Gibbs is a called strike on the outer third. Colin, as mentioned earlier, just recently announced his commitment to play at the University of Delaware after 2 years in Maryland. 0-1, Gibbs checks his swing, but he couldn't hold up. A tough call that doesn't go Silver Spring's way. And it's an 0-2 hole with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
That didn't look like a full half swing, if that makes sense. I would have said he pulled the bat back, but what do I know? I'm here with the T-Bolts.
0-2's in the dirt. Nice block by Springmeyer to keep Fricky at third. Critical for Springmeyer to be a brick wall here. Trying to keep Olney with the lead.
If Harrison gets out of this inning without that runner coming across and Connor Fricky, they're going to look at that block by Springmeyer where Fricky had to jump at home, but Springmeyer being a brick wall, as you mentioned.
2 balls and 2 strikes. In the T-Bolts bullpen, Matthew Calabrese is still throwing, trying to stay loose after his scoreless inning back in the 5th. 2 outs, runner on third. That's the tying run. Harrison's pitch. Fastball outside. Count goes full against the 8-hitter Colin Gibbs. 1 for 2 tonight. Has had a really hot start to his Thunderbolts season, although he did struggle at the plate last night against the DC Grays. Gibbs 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Here's a payoff pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Gibbs takes strike 3. Slider right down the heart of the plate, freezes the right-hander. And the T-Bolts score 1 and no more. 4-3 Olney will take a lead into the bottom of the 6th. Calabrese back out for his second inning of work after these words from our sponsors.
The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in the Tacoma Park and DMV area. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way to tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring is the best chicken in the world because it uses peri peri sauce. From chicken on the bone to wraps and sandwiches, along with salads and veggie options, Nando's is your choice for great food. And, of course, as we've mentioned countless times on this broadcast, for one night only, Nando's will be holding a promotion where 40% of the fundraising proceeds made with purchases will go to the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. That means every plate of flame-grilled peri-peri chicken that you order gives back to the community. It is a surefire way to support. It is, once again, that location is at 924 Ellsworth Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland. If you would like to go enjoy a night out in person on the town, or you can use, or no matter what you do, use the code NANDOS 2026 when you are ordering in the restaurant or online. It is applicable anywhere. Just that one day only, June 29th, 2026, from 4 to 9 p.m. The Nando's will be hosting that promotion. So go to Nando's and support the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts in the process.
Here in Montgomery County at First Responder Field, it's the bottom of the 6th. The home Olney Cropdusters holding on to a 1-run lead, although the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts have scored the last 2 runs, 1 in each of the last half innings. Alongside Patrick Moran, I'm Peter Kelly. Grateful for everyone hopping on the live stream this evening. We're hoping as much as you are that Silver Spring can come back and take this one. Olney took the first 2 meetings between these two on the season 25-1 demolition on June 4th and a 6-4 nail-biter on June the 13th. Olney brings up 8-9-1, starts off with Ben Ford, the left-handed hitting right fielder. First pitch from Calabrese misses outside. This isn't going to be Ben Ford, actually. We're going to get a pinch hitter here from Olney. It'll be Dylan Melton out of UMBC. The local kid went to Glen Elk Country. 1-0 from Matt. Catches the zone and makes it 1-1. So Dylan Melton replaces Ben Ford. Melton out of UMBC was second team all-conference in the America East this year. Led the conference with a .355 batting average.
T-Bolts
is grounded towards third, up with it Acosta, shaded towards short, and makes a strong throw over to first for out number 1.
Teammates with T-Bolts' own Nolan Cutney, both of them retrievers up in Baltimore County.
Melton is out number 1, and Cutney watches on from the T-Bolts dugout as the DH tonight to see his teammate get retired. 9-hitter up, Cade Walter, the center fielder, has reached base both times tonight, including a single in the 4th. First pitch from Matthew Calabrese is a big swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the 6th. Calabrese deals. Called strike 2. As mentioned, Matt was keeping his arm fresh during that top of the 6th inning. He threw the 5th and had a scoreless inning of work where he walked the first, but then got a couple of groundouts back to himself and struck out 1. There's another. Called strike 3 against Cade Walter. 2 gone in the 6th.
There you go. Calabrese has been one of the top arms, in my opinion, out of the Thunderbolts bullpen. Of course, as you mentioned earlier in this game, he was competing for a JUCO championship at the D2 level, but kind of arrived late along with Bortner, who we also saw. And he's just been really good out of the bullpen. A multi-inning reliever that throws strikes, that goes a long way on any pitching staff in the Ripken League.
First pitch to Patrick Gosden is a called strike. Gosden has been a tough man for the T-Bolts to get out on the season. He was 2 for 4 a week back with 5 RBIs and a go-ahead grand slam in the Olney Cropdusters' eventual 6-4 win. Tonight he's 2 for 3, hits in his last 2 plate appearances, although Calabrese's starting to roll. 0-2 count, 2 outs. One more pitch can send this dugout into an explosion as Silver Spring has scored the last 2 and trail by only 1. 0-2 pitch. Slider just downstairs. Gosden a backwards K in the 1st inning, but since then a single to left in the 2nd, a single to right in the 4th. 1-2. Fastball just outside.
You know, Gosden 2 hits on the day, but has not driven in any runs. So I'm sure the T-Bolts will take that as a win.
2-2. Gosden holds up on a enticing slider, and the count runs full with 2 outs. Three balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Laced down towards left field. King on a dead chase into the corner, but it gets down and 1 hops off the wall. Gosden gets to second. It's a 3-hit night for the leadoff man for Olney. 2-out base runner off of Matthew Calabrese. Had him in a 2-strike count and an 0-2 advantage, but Patrick Gosden battles back and reaches second after that double down the line.
This might be the T-Bolt terrorist, Peter. I mean, he is an unstoppable force. 3-hit day today, 5 RBIs in his last game against this Thunderbolt squad here at First Responder Field. I mean, the T-Bolts can't get him out. I'm surprised they got him to strike out looking to lead off this ball game for the Cropdusters. He is just something about these T-Bolts arms. You can read them like a book.
Gosden now hitting over 600 against the T-Bolts this year. 2 outs, man on second. First pitch to Ryan Booma is a ball outside. Booma's been tough to get out tonight. He walked in his first 2 trips up, but did fly out to left in the 4th, and a ball that we remember Joey King made an unbelievable grab on that was a home run until King brought it back. 1-0. Ugly swing there, and it's a strike on Ryan Booma. He's going to want to have that one back.
Would we call that a sword? I mean, I know they measure swords now, so I'm sure that would be one tallied for Calabrese. I mean, yeah, such an indecisive swing.
After that half swing and miss, it's 1-1. 2 outs. Gosden at second base. Calabrese comes home, and it's a strike taken right down the Broadway. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Again, just Calabrese's ability to throw strikes is so valuable across multiple innings at that.
2 strikeouts on his day in an inning and 2/3. Make it 3. Picture perfect on the outer third. Matthew Calabrese's through 2 scoreless. Some Olney coaches are not a fan, but that one did hit the zone. And through 6. 2/3 of the way home here at Olney. T-Bolts need just 1 to tie and 2 to take the lead as we take it to the 7th.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by the principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grub Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grub Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Top of the 7th here in Olney. The Cropdusters ahead 4-3 against the North Division bottom Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Alongside Pat Moran, I'm Peter Kelly. Hudson Harrison goes back to the hill for his 2nd inning out of the bullpen. Another World Cup score in the books. Morocco taking down Scotland 1-0. And the only reason I bring it up is because Morocco scored their only goal in the 3rd minute of play. And you might say, well, why is that relevant? It's kind of what's happened tonight for Olney. 3 of their 4 runs came in the first 2 innings, but since then, the Thunderbolts pitching staff, Zach Bortner, who started and had his really good end to his outing, and then Matthew Calabrese out of the bullpen with 2 strong innings. T-Bolts pitchers are keeping them in this ball game, and now the T-Bolts trying to do the opposite of what Scotland did, which is respond and try to come back, tie the game, and take the lead. They've got 9-1-2 due up, starting off with Matthew Kim, the second baseman, takes a strike from Harrison, who's back out after his 5-batter inning, where he did surrender a run after a ground out that scored a run from Kai Schmelzer, bringing home Griffin Puvel. 0-1 is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Cougars getting it done, man. What can you say? I mean, they have looked good overall, especially Calabrese in his scoreless innings.
2 balls and 1 strike for Matthew Kim, who's 1 for 2 today, singled in the 5th. Pitch from Harrison, taken down low. 3 balls and 1 strike. I don't know if the people at home can hear it on our microphones, but the Thunderbolts dugout is loud as ever. And if a walk is issued to Kim here and the top of the order comes up, we're going to hear some pretty big whoops and cheers.
They're going to be hyped.
3-1 is outside for ball 4. Matthew Kim leads it off nicely with a 5-pitch walk. Exactly what you need out of the 9-hitter. And it brings up Jonah Acosta, who has reached a couple times tonight.
You know, the energy that the Thunderbolts have, even though they're losing, I think it's so important to just have fun. I mean, you're playing summer baseball, and you get to meet a ton of new guys playing at all these different levels in college. It's such a cool opportunity, and to just embrace the chaos of this league is really special.
Pickoff gets away from the first baseman, Ahern.
Oh.
Kim goes to second.
Oh.
He wants 3. Throw in from the right fielder, Rodriguez. Not in time, and look at the dugout. An explosion out of Silver Spring. Matt Kim showing off the wheels. Tying run 90 feet out.
I mean, you want to talk about chaos, Peter. That was it right there. Matthew Kim kind of drew the pitcher off the mound in Harrison, and he threw it away. And Kim was just going all in on that. He rounded second. He had it for third. There was zero hesitation. He is perfectly fine with getting that jersey dirty.
First pitch is high to Jonah Acosta. The shortstop takes a ball upstairs. Infield drawn in now, trying to do anything they can to prevent this tying run from coming home and scoring. Harrison upstairs for ball 2. It was the error from Hudson Harrison on the pickoff that allows Kim to get to third base. He's got to be in his own head right now. He's thrown 6 out of 7 pitches in this inning for balls, and he erred to allow Kim to get to third. 2-0 is chopped foul. Interesting swing from Acosta after seeing a lot of straight balls from the pitcher Hudson Harrison, but no harm, no foul, 2-1.
And that's the type of power Matthew Kim has. If he gets on base, gets in the scoring position at the snap of a finger, he turns it over to the top half of the lineup who can do the most damage.
Acosta swings and misses 2-2. Kim's one of those guys that I think comes to the ballpark and says, if I didn't get my jersey dirty, I didn't play in the game.
Absolutely.
So he dives into third base there, and it was needed because it was really great recovery in right field from Donis Rodriguez that made the play close at third. 2-2, nobody out. Tying run at third. Pitch to Acosta. Popped up. Shallow left field. The shortstop Hawkins out. He's called off and left by Ben Ford, and he gloves it over the diving Hawkins, who is hitting the deck on that kind of weird play, but 1 out here in the 7th. Acosta pops out and cannot advance the runner.
Yeah, Hawkins going back on that one. He was ultimately called off by the left fielder Ben Ford, and his only option was to kind of flop and hit the deck. Just get out of the way, and thankfully with Matthew Kim leading off this inning, recording it out is not going to be a huge detriment as the T-Bolts still have room to work with.
First pitch to King is lined right back to the pitcher. Harrison with lightning reflexes, and Joey King robbed a home run earlier in this game. He was robbed of a game tire there. Cannot advance Matthew Kim, although he did everything that he could. With 2 outs, Gabriel Pegues up. The right guy at the plate, but 2 outs is not ideal to put him in this situation. Again, on the season against Olney, Pegues 3 for 8. All 3 of those hits have gone for extra bases, 2 doubles and a solo homer. First pitch to Gabe, misses high.
And you can just tell it takes so much pressure off the Cropdusters' infield defense. All 4 of them were originally on the lip of the grass, and now they're just playing at normal depth.
Slider is high for ball 2. This game's starting to enter nail-biter territory.
Yeah.
4-3. Teams just inching forward in this one. Nothing like the explosions we saw in games 1 and 2 between these teams. 2-0 pitch. Pegues on the left side. Hawkins up with it. Runs inside. Throw on the run is in time. T-Bolts put the leadoff man on, and he gets as far as third base with nobody out, but he cannot score, and we stay where we are at 4-3. Cropdusters in front. Stretch time here in Olney after a word from our sponsors.
Silver Spring Jewelry is Washington area's only complete jewelry store with a staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now at 3 locations in Takoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring. Family owned and operated since 1971, specializing in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engravings, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts. Sky Point Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. Sky Point believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making the community a better place. Whether you're opening your first account or planning for your future, Sky Point has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. Sky Point Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. Visit SkyPoint's branch in Silver Spring. More at skypointfcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Bottom of the 7th, Calabrese back out for the T-Bolts. Pat Moran, Peter Kelly on site with you at Olney. Cropdusters in front 4-3 and trying to extend their lead here. Olney brings up 3-4-5 in their order. The story of tonight for Silver Spring has been their pitching showing up, but the bats just unable to get them a ton of run support. Olney was really silenced after their 25-1 win over the T-Bolts, scoring just 6 runs in the last game between these two. T-Bolts couldn't pull it out, unfortunately. First pitch is grounded to short. Gibbs, calm and collected over to first. No problem for the Maryland man, 1 gone.
I completely understand. Sticking with Calabrese right now, he is absolutely rolling. And in a game that is winnable, why take him out? And you can see it right there. Colin Gibbs just working through the baseball, firing on the first. So much poise. These guys are clearly comfortable playing behind Calabrese.
Matt Calabrese, no runs allowed over his last 4 2/3 innings. He's got an out gone in the 7th. Cleanup hitter Landon Springmeyer up 0 for 3, or 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch is outside. Springmeyer did get that walk in the 5th. That was the first batter that Calabrese faced. So everyone after this point will be the second time through against Matt Calabrese. 1-0, fouled back. We want to shout out everyone in our chat again, including Michael Presky's host family.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate them tuning in, dedicated enough to every game. 1-1 is fisted out towards center field. Pegues charging in. It's going to hang up. 2 gone in the 7th. Calabrese has now retired 3 in a row and 6 of the last 7.
Again, he is just working on cruise control right now. He looks really strong on the mound. And, yeah, I mean, our fans are great. They are active in the chat. Love it. Hoping for a late game rally. And Michael Presky's host family always doing an excellent job supporting their guy.
First pitch to Donis Rodriguez is fouled off backside. No balls, 1 strikes against the left fielder out of Millersville, who's 0 for 3 tonight, including a ground out back to Calabrese in the 5th.
You know it's a fiery night when nobody is in that Thunderbolts bullpen. They're all in the dugout together as one unit. They are trying to rally kind of as a blue army. So they wear the royal blue jerseys with the red text.
1-1 pitch. Rodriguez fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As mentioned, a big part of summer ball is to have fun, and only a team that has a lot of fun has a lot of great traditions. But another big part is to win games, because you're still part of a baseball team and guys that you come to work with every day and want to rally around. So the T-Bolts, make no mistake, are looking for the W in this one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win games on the summer circuit, but you know, if the results aren't what you want them to be, you can look at the silver lining of just the player development and the, you know, just the teamwork that goes into it.
Count stays 2-2. On the season, Rodriguez 3 for 9 against the T-Bolts, has driven in 3 and has walked 3 times. He's got bases empty, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. His team, the Olney Cropdusters, ahead by just 1 run. 2-2. Fouled off weakly on the third base side. Good battle here between Calabrese and the 5-hitter Donis Rodriguez, who, as you mentioned, has some pro experience, a couple of years with the short season affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Kind of unusual that he's in the 5-hole with 10 stolen bases.
2-2 is a called strike 3. 4th strikeout for Matt Calabrese. 3 scoreless out of the bullpen. It's up to the offense now to get him that run support and tie things up as we head to the 8th. T-Bolts need just 1.
Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Takoma Park, Maryland, helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Takoma Park, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
New man on the hill for Olney here in the bottom of the 7th. This is going to be Joey Zito out of East Stroudsburg. Zito, a big left-hander, comes in having thrown against the T-Bolts before. On the season, Zito will make his 4th appearance, has an ERA of about 6.75, has 4 innings of work under his belt, given up 3 earned runs on 8 hits, has struck out 5 against 4 walks. Zito, someone that pitched in the 6-4 nail-biter 6 days ago. He came in and the T-Bolts actually got to him. Joey gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and walked 1 in a 7th inning where Nolan Cudney had the big hit, scoring 2 runs. Gabe Pegues and Caleb Sturdivant. That brought the T-Bolts within 2, but that was as far as they got. Here in the 7th, or here in the 8th, excuse me, T-Bolts come up, and it's Nolan Cudney who had that big hit, like I just mentioned, against Joey Zito. Lefty-righty matchup. The big struggle tonight, and this isn't something we've talked about a ton on the year for the T-Bolts. Oftentimes the errors and the walks make themselves more known, but just hitting with runners on and hitting with runners in scoring position. Combined coming into this game, Silver Spring stranded 22 runners against the Olney Cropdusters over 2 games. In that 6-4 loss on June 13th, Silver Spring Tacoma stranded 14 runners. And tonight, the Thunderbolts in the 8th inning are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Cudney drives it out towards right field, fairly deep but playable. Rodriguez went back, now comes in and has to slide because he badly misread it. But he does come in and make the first catch for the first out.
T-Bolts should just be able to take this one batter at a time. You know, you can't try and do too much as a hitter. It's really hard to go yard in the Ripken League, given the fact that, you know, these college athletes are working with metal bats most of the time. And so just it is a true test to manufacture runs and play baseball in an old school style.
First pitch to Pufel is on a rope out towards deep center. Walter goes back but stays put and gloves it in straightaway center field for the second out.
Able to put 2 good swings on baseballs, just not the results they wanted. Pufel and Cudney, 2 guys who I know I just kind of watered down the home run aspect of the Ripken League, but Pufel and Cudney have some thump. And on those 2 swings right there, you can see, you know, that gap-to-gap ability.
Here's another guy with some power. Connor Fricke takes a strike on the outer third. Fricke stands at 6'5", but as you can see, he bends down in his stance to make it a little bit more manageable. 2 big guys going at it. Fricke at 6'5", Zito at 6'3". 0-1, Fricke's half swing is fouled on the first base dugout towards Olney's side. Just 5 pitches so far in the outing for Joey Zito, and he's got an 0-2 count with 2 outs.
Power on power in this at-bat. Joey Zito did a good job his last time out against this very Thunderbolts team. Or his last time against the Thunderbolts, I should say.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fricke pops it up foul. On the night, the Thunderbolts only have 4 hits. Nobody with multiple. Connor Fricke has one of those 4 hits. and it's the only extra base one of the night. A double back in the 6th that got Griffin Pouville to third, where he eventually scored the 3rd run of the game for Silver Spring. No runs have been scored since. Fricky trying to change that. 0-2. Got him swinging. Fantastic inning for Joey Zito as the 3rd man in the game for the Olney Cropdusters, and he gives a little fist bump to the crowd on his way out. 4-3, Olney is just barely hanging on, but they are hanging on. Just 6 outs to get for the Cropdusters, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Olney.
Koa Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. Koa Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about Koa Sports at koasports.org. That is spelled K-O-A. Koa Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than the numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Whether you're growing your portfolio or preserving a legacy, Parkview Capital crafts a clear, customized path to your financial future, one that evolves with you. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Bottom of the 8th, and who else but Matt Calabrese back on the hill. Goes out after 3 scoreless innings in the book. Pat, what have you liked about Calabrese's outing so far? I know you've seen him play for a couple years now, but tonight has been the best I've seen him in a T-Bolts uniform.
Just the ability to throw strikes. I mean, it's kind of a simple mantra in this league, or a simple method, if you will, but putting the ball over the plate means everything. A lot of pitchers can struggle with command at times, but Calabrese is not one of them. He is showing his high floor ability to pump strikes in there, put, the Cropdusters' bats on their toes, and it's just an arm I've liked ever since I saw him at DeMatha.
6-7-8 up. First pitch to Zakai Hawkins is a ball inside. Bottom of the 8th here at First Responder Field. Only hanging on by a thread up on Silver Spring 4-3.
It's not your typical 6-7-8. These guys can still do some damage, and you've got to have a certain degree of precision when attacking any part of this lineup.
Zakai Hawkins, then Cade Ahern, then Dylan Melton, the pinch hitter. 3-0 count. Calabrese did walk the first batter he faced back in the 5th. That was Landon Springmeyer. Since then, he has retired 9 of the last 10. Only blemish being a double to Patrick Gosden in the 6th. And after that 3-0 count, it's going to cause a brief mound visit. Interesting to see that in the middle of an at-bat, the T-Bolts will go out and talk things over with him, especially with how well he's been doing. But I don't think you want to take any risks here.
No.
Cannot afford to let this lead get any bigger than it is.
The margin of error is so thin for the T-Bolts. They want to keep it at 1 run, and they know this game is within striking distance, so they're keeping Calabrese in this game. And, I mean, he's done a fantastic job up to this point, keeping it where it is, giving the T-Bolts every single opportunity to tie or take a lead. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a great outing for him.
3-0 pitch, squaring to bunt and pulling back. Zakai Hawkins with a Little League move, and it works in his advantage as he draws a 4-pitch walk. Brings up Cade Ahern, who had a single in the 2nd, but since then has flew out and struck out.
T-Bolt's got to look for that double play ball now. The off man on. That's a dangerous game to play. There does seem to be some action in the bullpen.
Squares to bunt and drops it down. Ahern right back to the pitcher. Calabrese, second time he's fielded a bunt tonight, and he does so equally as well as the first. 1 out pushes Hawkins to second. The run extender and the insurance for Olney just 2 bags away.
Again, perfect old school baseball right there. Bunting it in front of the mound. Calabrese picking it up. firing on a first with that strong arm he has. And he can really be an athlete on the mound. I didn't mention this earlier, but he was a two-way player in high school. I mean, manning first base for the Stags as well as pitching out of relief. He can, now that he's devoting his time only to pitching, it's going to make him even better on the mound.
First pitch is fouled off by Dylan Melton, second at bat for him after he came in relief of Ben Ford, who had a pair of strikeouts. Melton grounded out to third in his lone at bat so far. That was in the 6th. No balls, one strike. Zakai Hawkins with his lead off of second base, inching closer, now takes a step back, hopping around, and Calabrese comes home, pitches a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Olney trying to extend their lead over the Cal Ripken League's North Division. They come into this one at 9-5. They are a game and a half ahead of the Gaithersburg Giants, but Gaithersburg with a comfortable lead tonight over the Bethesda Big Train 10-2. That game is in the 8th as well. Called strike against Dylan Melton, counts 1 and 2. That game happening at Shirley Povich. Both the DC Grays and the SoCo Braves are off. The only other game in the books, Southern Maryland beating Alexandria 19-5. Again, an Alexandria team that we'll see tomorrow in a doubleheader at Frank Mann Field in Virginia. Senators have won 6 in a row. That's a really hot team. That is now the best record standing alone at the top of the Ripken League. Pitch is down low, 2-2 against the lefty Dylan Melton. One gone here in the 8th, 4-3. Only scraping by against the T-Bolts despite having not scored since the 4th inning. Field now fully in the dusk. Sun setting over our first base side. Fouled off again. Count stays where it is. It's been a light offensive night for Olney, a team that we have seen score 25 runs against the Thunderbolts. Tonight just 4 on 6 hits. Patrick Gosden, the leadoff man, has 3 of those 6. But this is the part of the order with the other 3. 6 through 9 have the other 3 hits for Olney. Melton without one. The pinch hitter will watch as Calabrese steps off and looks back Hawkins.
Saved it from being a balk. He had that leg up, and he was ready to fire. But Hawkins has been dancing on his second base lead. Maybe a bit of an intimidation factor going on.
2-2 is back up the middle, and it falls in center. Hawkins is waved around, picked up by Pegues. Throw to the plate, offline, and it's 5-3 Dusters. Big hit for Dylan Melton coming off the bench in the 6th and giving the Dusters a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Tough break for Silver Spring. Matthew Calabrese has been so good out of this bullpen. Finally, the Dusters get to him after 3 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. And with this stride out to the mound, it's going to spell the end for Matt Calabrese, despite another great outing.
I mean, that's the clutchest hit of the night for the Olney Cropdusters. And Peter, you're a guy that bangs the drum for, if you're coming in off the bench in a game, the action's going to find you. And Dylan Melton was put in a spot where he needed to come through with a big hit. And that he did. Just an RBI single up the middle. Hawkins, of course, with the undeniable speed, rounded the bases and jumped for joy at home plate. And they know how big that insurance run is.
Calabrese comes out, and the new pitcher into the game for Silver Spring, Takoma, is going to be Wade Hartrick. And Hartrick did throw against the Olney Cropdusters in his last outing. That one on June 13th. Hartrick was the 3rd and final arm out of the T-Bolts bullpen. Went 2 innings, gave up just 1 earned run. Gave up just 1 hit in that game as well. A single with Patrick Gosden that did score Cade Walter. Hartrick stuck out 4, though. He's been a leverage arm out of this T-Bolts bullpen that takes over in a tough spot. Runner on first, 1 out, and the T-Bolts down 2 runs. As Hartrick warms up, we'll go back quickly to the out-of-town scoreboard. Obviously 5-3, only in front of Silver Spring here. In the bottom of the 8th, Gaithersburg all over Bethesda. That one at Shirley Povich Field. And the Giants trying to extend their advantage over Bethesda. It's 10-2 Gaithersburg. Giants with 16 hits tonight. And thanks to a 7-run 5th inning off of Nathan Wines, they are completely in the driver's seat against the defending champions, Bethesda Big Train. Other game in the books, Southern Maryland, the hottest team in the Ripken League right now. And that's saying something for an Olney team that has won 7 of the last 8. Southern Maryland is just blowing them out of the water. They win it 19-5. They were in front 14-0 after the 4th over Alexandria. They had a couple midseason additions. Bud Coombs, who you're familiar with, Patrick, he goes 1 for 3 again tonight. He is just hitting the ball every single time he gets to the plate, it seems. They also add Kai Lewin, a player that I know for a very random reason. Our high school team played him on our trip down in Florida, and he played at Bishop Moore and now went to UCF for his freshman year. So they had a couple of really big midseason additions that have made the Senators, I think surprisingly to a lot of people, pretty clearly the best team in the Ripken League so far. Olney can also challenge for that title, but just based on record and the amount of runs that Southern Maryland puts on the board, it's the Senators right now. First pitch from Hartrick is inside. Schmelzer's back pick to first isn't in time.
Brian and I saw the Senators the other day when we went down to Waldorf, and they looked good. They looked like a complete team. They pulled off the walk-off coming back from a 6-0 deficit. And you mentioned Bud Coombs. That was Matthew Calabrese's teammate in high school. Both of them I saw at DeMatha Catholic, class of 2025, and now they're making an impact in the Ripken League, which is pretty cool, albeit on 2 different teams. I'm sure they wish they could join forces once again because those 2 have been performing well on the summer circuit.
2-0 count against 9-hitter Cade Walter has a hit by pitch, a single and a K tonight. 1 gone, runner on first here in the bottom of this 8th inning. Over their 6-game winning streak, the Senators have only played one-run game, and it came against the Thunderbolts on Tuesday, June 16th. Definitely a beatable team, and I think that just shows how the Thunderbolts can compete when they're all on fire. They had a couple of home runs in that game. Trent Lopez was a big factor in it, but Bud Coombs, again, was a really big turning point for this team's season. Over their last 3 games, the Southern Maryland Senators have scored 53 runs.
I know we work for the T-Bolts, but I don't think the record does this team justice. And just a few different things, if a few different things go the T-Bolts' way, they could be in a much better spot right now. And I think a lot of the things that go wrong for them in games can be fixed in practice. So, I mean, the T-Bolts can still compete. I don't think teams should be looking at them as a pushover game, even though the record would suggest that. The T-Bolts can just hang with the best of them, which we saw in Southern Maryland.
Hartrick just issued a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hitter Cade Walter. Puts runners on first and second base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Patrick Gosden, the man with 3 hits tonight, is stepping back up to the plate. 3 consecutive hits, too, for Patrick Gosden. Single to second, single to center in the 2nd, single to 4th in the 4th. Oh, my God. Single to right field in the 4th, and a double to left field in the 6th. There's a lot of numbers in the book.
Yeah.
Trying to sort things out, but first pitch from Hartrick to Gosden lands over the plate. Slider drops in and framed nicely by Kai.
Pretty amazing that Hartrick, who was the 3rd and final arm for the T-Bolts in the last matchup between the Cropdusters and Silver Spring-Takoma, he could be the last arm again. I mean, Calabrese covered a lot of innings, really saving this bullpen for the doubleheader tomorrow.
Hartrick hits Patrick Gosden, the second baseman for Olney, aboard for the 4th time tonight. Sends up Ryan Booma. And Booma, it's a great Olney lineup up and down, but Booma almost hit a home run back in the 4th inning. Only thing stopping him was Joey King with a home run robbery. But you've already seen tonight Booma hit a ball over the fence. And it wasn't out, but still, with the bases loaded and the T-Bolts trying to keep the lead at 2, Hartrick's got a tough task in front of him going against the Frostburg State junior, Ryan Booma. Booma, a local product from Sherwood High School, right here in Montgomery County, a dynasty at the public school level that has won, I think, 3 straight 3A titles. Fouled off, and the count's 0-1. I'm uncertain if they're in 3A or 4A, but Sherwood is a very, very impressive public school program. Had so many great players come through recently. Booma played with Amari Allen, who was one of the best seasons in Montgomery County public school history. As a 2A man, eventually went on to Chipola College.
Yeah, they just won a state championship.
Popped up, sky high. Catcher Schmelzer under it, calls it and makes a grab, fighting off this Twilight. 2 out, space is still loaded. Big second out for Hartrick to induce that pop out of Ryan Booma. And now a force out at any base for Logan Barada, who has been quiet tonight, 0 for 4, reached on an error in the first. But against the T-Bolts this year, is 2 for 5 with a 3-run homer and a double. That all came in the June 4th demolition, 25-1.
Such a huge second out for Schmelzer to stick with the baseball. He's done that really well tonight.
First pitch strike on the outer third. The zone has been a little bit spotty tonight from the home plate umpire. This was the case last night with Adam Trader, but I don't think tonight's umpires made many friends on either side.
No.
A lot of calls that have impacted this game that are tweeners, but have often seemed to find the ire of one of the teams. Counts 1-1.
Although he was doing the Cotton Eye Joe dance, so.
I guess they can't be too mad at
I'll
him
leave
if
it
he
at
was
that.
dancing with them.
Yeah.
No, it's been in umpires have played a bigger role tonight than in a lot of games this season, highlighted by an ejection earlier on in this one. 1-1 pitch is popped up. Right side of the infield. Fricky calls for it. Goes in the foul ground and retires the side. How about that work from Wade Hartrick? Comes in a really tough spot. Loads the bases, but does get out of it with no runs allowed. Cropdusters score 1 in the inning. 5-3 their lead now. And just 3 outs separate them and their 10th win. Heading to the top of the 9th. T-Bolts need 2 to tie, 3 to take the lead.
Dan Metcalf has long been a supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Now, he's at a new location, the Finn Family Group of Perennial Real Estate. If you want to find that perfect home in the perfect community, the Finn Family Group is for you. The Finn Family Group believes in community, and they bring that sense of community when working with clients to find homes in the Silver Spring-Takoma Park area. Call them today at 301-450-6999. Once again, that is 301-450-6999. The Finn Family Group, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Athletic House on 18952 Bonanza Way in Gaithersburg is a promotional product distributor making mugs, pens, and t-shirts for advisors. The Athletic House can supply your company with every possible promotional product for 3,000 suppliers. With so many ad specialties available, Athletic House can help leave a lasting impression with your customers, and they will create long-lasting relationships with your clients. Athletic House, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts.
Top of the 9th here in Olney. T-Bolts have just 3 outs to try and score 2 runs and keep this game alive. 7-8-9 up for Silver Spring. Kai Schmelzer, the catcher. Colin Gibbs, the shortstop. Matthew Kim, the second baseman. This part of the order has done some damage tonight. Gibbs and Kim each with a hit, but Schmelzer is hitless. 0 for 3 is the young catcher with a couple of groundouts. New pitcher in for Olney, Brennan Tomhave. Closed out the last game against the Thunderbolts with 1 2/3 innings of scoreless work, giving up just 1 hit and striking out 2, slamming the door on a 6-4 Olney win. Top of the 9th, first pitch to Schmelzer is off the mid of the catcher Springmeyer and to the backstop for ball 1.
I know this T-Bolt squad is so anxious to make this a new ball game here in the 9th, but just 1 pitch at a time is all it's going to take, you know, for them to put a competitive string of hits, walks, on base appearances together, and you know that's what's going to lead to success.
1-1, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tom Have, a junior from Illinois Wesleyan, and Kai Schmelzer entering his freshman season at Gulf Coast State, a JUCO down in Florida. 1-2 pitch is hit weakly on the ground to the right side. Second baseman Gosden up with it and easily over to first for the first down.
Schmelzer kind of just stuck the bat out there. Not contact that was super hard, but just try to put the ball in play. Maybe a good thing would happen. Fortunately, that was not the case. Gosden able to field an easy ground ball.
Here's Colin Gibbs, the 8-hitter, with 1 out in the 9th. Takes a ball down and away. Shortstop has made a couple nice plays defensively tonight. As a whole, Silver Spring has had a really nice defensive game. Made 4 errors last night. Came in with a league-leading 37, but tonight have committed just 1. And only really left the door open. They're not a team that commits very many errors, but they have 3 tonight, and the T-Bolts, unfortunately, haven't really been able to capitalize too much. 2-0 is fouled off, 2-1.
Of course, the highlight defensively was Joey King's incredible grab. That has to be the play of the year. I don't know if we're going to see a more impressive home run robbery than what Joey King was able to accomplish.
2-1. Weak grounder left side, could beat it out. Third baseman tries for it and he doesn't get it. Logan Barada called off his shortstop Hawkins and doesn't get anything. Gibbs legs it out. Could be a hit or an error, is a tweener in the scorebook, but nevertheless, Colin Gibbs aboard for the second time tonight. And now Matthew Kim, the 9-hitter, will really try hard to turn things over. I don't need to say this, Pat, but the one thing you can have is a ground ball. Well,
Yeah.
a ground ball that is a double play, I guess I should have clarified.
You can have a ground ball single, but hey, Colin Gibbs busting it out of the blocks. That could have sped up the internal clock for Logan Barada kind of unexpectedly, and that's what allowed Colin Gibbs to put the pressure on him to make a play, and he didn't answer the bell.
It is scored as a single, 2-hit night for Gibbs. He's 5 for 9 this year against Olney. 1 out, tying run at the plate. The right-hander Tom Have comes home. Kim takes a strike. No balls and 2 strikes for Matthew Kim, who had a single in the 5th, walked in the 7th, and struck out back in the 2nd, the only time he was retired today. He's been a spark plug out of this 9 spot, including in that 7th inning where he got to 3rd, forcing an error on a pickoff move.
That was just an electrifying play, taking 2 bases on an overthrow.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Matthew Kim has bounced around collegiately, Gettysburg to FCC and then to Hampton-Sydney, where he just finished up his junior season. 2nd year for Kim with the Thunderbolts. Looking for a signature moment here. 1-2. Got him swinging. Tom Have's first strikeout. Olney has been really dominating out of their bullpen. 9th strikeout for Cropduster pitching on the day. And Silver Spring-Takoma down to their final out.
But I think this might be the best shot they have, turning it over to the top of the lineup card. Jonah Acosta could, I don't know, cause some chaos. Only time will tell if the T-Bolts can rally here with 2 outs.
2-run runner on first. First pitch to Jonah is taken outside for a ball. One-0 count. Just 1 out to get for Olney. Well high. Gets away him for a moment, but Gibbs didn't see it. He was already moving back towards the bag, and so he can't advance. Two balls and no strikes. On deck, Joey King, who's 0 for 2 after entering in relief of Caleb Sturdivant, exited in the 4th with an injury. 2-0. Acosta can't hold up, and it's a strike regardless. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And there was no appeal there. So, with that being said, it was at the umpire's discretion to make a call on the pitch rather than depend on an umpire making a check swing call.
Called strike 2. Silver Spring-Takoma down to their last strike. Jonah Acosta on the day, 0 for 3. Did walk in the third and reached on an error in the fifth. But as of right now, has been held hitless. 2-2, 2 outs. Pitch from Tom Have. Outside. Counter run full, and Gibbs will get a chance to get a head start.
Fans are really getting into it here as well. It's a great crowd, as we said at the top of the show. But they are clapping. They are feeling a win on the cusp of being secured.
3-2. In the air, right center. Mile high, and the center fielder, Cade Walters, got it. Finishing the ball game for Olney. They're the first team in the North to 10 wins, extending their winning streak to 4 and advancing to 10-5 and comfortable position of the top spot in the division. For Silver Spring-Takoma, a tough 5-3 loss where the bats just couldn't get going. 3-10 they dropped to, staying in last place in the North Division and keeping their worst record in the Ripken League, losing their second straight, and are now 1-6 on the road. The story of tonight was the hitting with runners on. Silver Spring-Takoma finishes going 2 for 17 with runners aboard, including 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Olney wasn't much better, but they were better, and they got the hits when it mattered, getting just enough to best the Thunderbolts and winning against the T-Bolts for the third time in as many tries.
Once again, a really close game here at First Responder Field. The T-Bolts kept it within 2 runs for their second straight game against the Cropdusters. And these guys showed a lot of fight. They played with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. Brock Hunter was really the man to light that flame underneath this team. And even though they did not come away with the win, they still, played with heart. And I think when you're a team that's 3-10 now, that is what you have to do. You have to care enough to turn things around, come together as a team. And, these guys, they care in Olney when the games are close. So it was just really good baseball all around. The Cropdusters were able to come in with some timely hitting. The T-Bolts only allowing 5 runs for Ripken League standards is really impressive. And I think, they can take a lot of things from this game positively. The Frederick Community College guys showing out. And, they just got to recoup and come back at it tomorrow. They're going to play 2.
Great pitching all around in this one, but highlights out of the bullpen for Silver Spring-Takoma, Matthew Calabrese and Wade Hartrick. Cropdusters take it. It's a new Silver Spring-Takoma team. I think it's pretty clear. This past week, they are now 2-3, but they're outscoring teams with a margin of plus 17. So good numbers across the board. The losses haven't been ugly losses like early in the season. They'll get 2 more cracks at it tomorrow, trying to advance their record of 3-10. Doubleheader in Alexandria that Pat Moran and Brian Alves will be on the call for. Game 1 of that starts at 5, and Game 2 is scheduled for a 7 p.m. start, although we'll see when that actually starts. But 2 games tomorrow at Alexandria at Frank Mann Field. We'll go live around 5 on the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts YouTube channel. That'll be it for us here in the booth. Alongside Patrick Moran, I've been Peter Kelly. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in this one. T-Bolts drop a tough one, 5-3 to the Cropdusters, signing off.